One enemy remaining. Flawless.
I'm out of here. We're good. Out of charges. Gotta go.
Last player standing. Attackers win. Spike down. C.
It's all you, little homie.
10 seconds left.
Crash got a hit.
One enemy remaining. Spike down. C.
Little homie. Crash hit him.
One enemy remaining.
Y'all should.
One enemy remaining.
Over here.
Damn. Thrash is ready.
One enemy remaining.
I guess we're doing this.
Spike planted.
Ready.
One enemy remaining.
Now, I mean, Astrovoc, I'm just saying, like, it's getting harder and harder each day to like get the hair products that I need.
No, like genuine. I think we need to do a trade. Like,
I think
I'll
we-
give you my hair. I can take your beard. You know, I wouldn't.
I'm
I
down
wouldn't
for that.
do
I'm down for that. But you know what I'm down for? I'm down for some games, man. You know, I'm excited for it. We're gonna be getting into it, right? Oh,
Yeah, I think
wait, are we already in?
Have we been live the entire time?
Oh no, oh no. Oh
Don't
no.
look at me. This is embarrassing. I don't want to be looked at anymore.
Hide away.
Hide.
Hide
Oh!
away. Welcome back, everyone, to the Goofy, the Silly. We're trying to make some content out of it, have a fun time, because it is the Creator Cup. We're here to create some memories and create some memes. My name is Nerds. I'm here with Astrovoc, the Castervoc, and we are going to be the casters for the grand finals today. It's One Cell versus Little Grizzy, and I'm getting hyped. Grands. Ooh, I love Grands.
Well, honestly, I'm just glad to be back for Valorant, especially after I told myself, you know what, I'm moving on to fighting games. I can't do this anymore. You will see me attacking. But now, somehow, I always get dragged back, and it's with you, of all people. Oh, you.
We're like antonyms. I don't have hair, but I got the beard.
I have hair. I don't have beard. It's like,
That's the and,
Barely
and that's
there.
where the memes and debauchery start. But we're gonna be dissecting a little bit more than the debaucherous, dubious deeds that we have brought up to the broadcast. We are gonna talk a little about the teams now to catch players up to speed. Little Grizzy, I mean, we got to see Ostra and Nyx talking about them previously. But the thing about it is that I know a little bit about Little Grizzly as well. Not only do they play at the ROK LAN, But also, I believe they did have a pretty good time. They made it like day 2, if I'm not mistaken. They had a team and a squad that played together. And on top of all of that fun stuff, we have one cell, the people who have been dominating this tournament, Temet, Leah, and then obviously, you got to give credits to Slambino, the silver sultan of the streets.
And absolutely. The one thing that I really like seeing in chat about Slambino, especially, is people saying, I'm sorry, free agent possibly? Like maybe 100 Thieves Slambino coming up in the future. And to that, I'd say would be nice to see. You never really know. But this Creator Cup has been absolutely insane. We've had plenty of 2-0s, but then leading into our semifinals, the competition got a little tougher, especially for Team Low Grizzy here. They did have a little bit of a trouble spot dealing with another team here, being the IRA Lovers, and able to finish it out at 2-1. Being able to make it into our grand finals.
Now, the thing about One Cell, they've played up against Little Grizzlies previously, so they have some experience beating them. When we talked to One Cell on the desk yesterday, they kind of wanted Little Grizzlies to get up into this grand final spot because they are feeling pretty confident about taking the tournament away from them. So I'm curious, are we going to be seeing the same kind of? Is it going to be a little bit more on the rough side because Little Grizzly is kind of prepared for it?
If anything, 2-0, maybe. But I am expecting this to go a little back and forth because of most of the grand finals that we have somehow commentated mostly before, it's always been 1-1 and then maybe a tied game. And then after that, one team finally takes it all, but not without a little bit of competition.
Now, I don't know, have you watched any of the previous games, Ashervok? A little caught up on some of them?
A little bit here and there.
Have you seen the absolute Goomba stomps that Temet goes on the server? Okay, we talked about this. Every time I see Neon just bouncing around, in my mind, immediately it goes to, okay, that is straight up just like the Mario bouncing sound, like wing wing. That is what I'm hearing. And every time he gets he jumps on someone, it's the Goomba stomp. Every time he slides and gets a kill, it's like the coin collecting. It's like my brain has just rotted to the point of I have to associate it to video game noises in my own mind. I'm losing it.
See, when it comes to Neon, right, you were literally out here thinking Mario. The entire time I was thinking Sonic the Hedgehog or something of the equivalent of that, right? They have to go fast. I'm not wrong, am I?
No, you're 1,000% correct. Everyone says Sonic, honestly.
Genuinely as fast as they go. Me personally, I play KO. I have to stick to my big robot here.
The big robot. He's got a lot of versatility on different maps. And speaking of maps and talking a little bit about that, when I talked to One Cell, they were talking a little bit about, they're definitely going to be playing Sunset or Lotus here. So I expect that to be one of the first picks immediately. Grizzly, they did their research. We do not want to play them on Lotus because they have played Lotus 6 times in this tournament, won every single one so far, and they've played Sunset almost every single time on top of that. So One Cell is going to be either picking Lotus or Sunset, and they're going to be super comfortable on those.
No, genuinely, I feel when it comes to Lotus, and this is me personally, that map can burn, die for all I care. It has been nothing but the bane of my personal existence. Yes, I'm saying it, the bane of my personal existence. 0-20 every time, but when it comes to Sunset, obviously, maybe it's something you just feel a little more comfortable on. Totally no issue going forward. So with some of these picks and bans, I imagine it's not only a matter of comfortability, but a matter of, hey, you remember yesterday when this team literally went maybe 20 stack over on Lotus and how not so fun it was for the other? Let's maybe avoid that for the time being and go with what we feel we could win with.
There was one point where I think it was 2-20 for Temet. On Lotus on the attacking side in terms of the KDA. That is wild. So I can see exactly why I want to avoid that. Switching to Sunset, those are the two we're going to be seeing. Ascent, Sunset. The reason we're avoiding Ascent is because it's just straight up it's cookie dough, it's the vanilla, it's the bread. If it is the bread, then the standard comp is the butter. But I'm gonna actually focus my attention towards Haven. I find that quite fascinating. I like Haven personally, but I'm surprised they didn't want to throw something else in the loop there, leave bind, kind of hang in there, and ban out Haven to kind of trip up some of these players. But I can see why they also might not want to play bind, considering that Leah plays a really strong Gecko and a really strong Neon. Could be devastating on bind, but it could also be pretty dubious on Haven as well.
I feel in any situation, Gecko can be such a danger, right? I mean, especially on buying, you'd have a lot of util to really worry about. And I'm talking about the fact that all it takes is one good lineup, and all of a sudden, Dizzy is just going to be everywhere, goop all in your fingers, feet. Nope, absolutely don't like it. And then sightline wise, just get absolutely screwed behind that. And you better hope Thrash doesn't make a nasty appearance, else it just might be game over from you on there.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
You did
Wiggle,
not have to
wiggle,
say all
wiggle.
that. You
Wiggle, wiggle.
stop it.
The fish just go wiggle, it jiggle, it grab you, and then now you're stuck. So I entirely agree. Where it's like Gecko is really powerful on a lot of these maps. Neon's really versatile on all these maps. Gecko's really good for pug play because you can't flash your teammates. It's literally impossible. So in terms of coordinating with some of these players, it's going to be great. But you can't discount, the Silver Sultan, as I like to joke, Slambito. That's a lot to talk about one cell. And I don't want to like put pressure on Grizzly because I mean, obviously, right? I personally watched that game. I commentated over it, so I got that. But Grizzly, I mean, on the other hand, they did make it back here. They popped out of groups, even though they had some losses. And then through all of that strife, they're the underdogs going into this. So you got to give them credit where credit is due, considering that they have to fight their way to get through to the grand finals.
And that's the one thing I really love. It's a good underdog story. So you have all the cards stacked against you. But you know what? I'm going to give them the benefit of that. I got to give them a little bit of hope heading into this, right? It's grand finals. It's a do or die time. And sure, second place isn't the worst, but you would rather be first place instead of silver here. Let's be very honest.
Oh, yeah. I mean, gold, you're shooting for gold. It's the highest prize pool that I think we've seen Creator Cup have. It's 1,000 smackaroos. And by smackaroos, I mean United States dollars, courtesy of some of our amazing sponsors, which we'll get to. But I'm just saying, like, that's a lot of money. You're fighting for, I believe, like a huge. I think first place is still either 500 or 600, something along those lines. But the prize splits, like, not only are they bigger, but like the incentive is there for the brownie points. There's so many things stacking up on it. How do these guys stack up against it?
I mean, $1,000 in this economy. I mean, let's be honest. We both live in like Los Angeles County, Orange County, question mark. It
In
maybe
California.
depends. We live in California. It doesn't exactly go a long way, but I imagine in other states, maybe question mark, in Vegas especially. I've been made aware of that very quickly. But $1,000 is still $1,000 split between you and your teammates. I'd say that's a pretty good chunk of cash. And for Creator Cup like this one, hey, that's honestly the best we've had.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, right? It's one of those things. And as we get into Agent Select, we kind of push into it. I doubt we're gonna be. I don't know. Is Grizzly gonna run the standard comp, or are they going to deviate from it? I wonder.
If anything, you have to ask yourself the important question, do you risk it enough to deviate in the first place? Because you've had some teams that have done that and it's brought them that high risk, high reward scenario. But against a team such as this one, it might be best to stick to what's standard for the moment. That's all I'd have to say about it.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I can also expect maybe a little bit of Reyna for the memes.
Ooh.
I just like Reyna. I think in these content creator tournaments, it's always fun to see. Well, okay, I like seeing those types of picks, especially when it comes to content creator tournaments where teams just go, play like all duelists or something like your Reyna, ISO. We just run it down, have a fun time for the culture. But also, I have seen a lot of we're going to play this like a tournament. So it's really nice, the 50-50 kind of aspect of it, whether people are having a fun time or they're, having a fun time by playing the game seriously. It's a little bit of a toss-up.
True. And you say fun time, and then you also have to remember $1,000 on the line for first place here. And sure, second still gets some money, but that's still a lot of money. I mean, me personally, I might sweat a little too much just to take first here.
Really?
Just a little bit. That's me, though.
I feel like I would sweat a little bit just for the at least to get to grand final. Like, I want to get to a high enough placement that I have that sense of pride. Now, obviously, silver, is what it is, but it just depends, man, right? It depends on how dominant you want to be within that, within the creator space, especially because it's one of the bigger creator tournaments. Frosto runs an amazing show, so it's like, we won. We're the team, bro. We're the squad. We got the synergy. It feels kind of nice.
honestly sound pretty nice. I believe we should be waiting on maybe a couple more people here and there. But I got nerds. It's been a while since we've commentated. How have you been since then?
I'm vibing. I mean, I personally, I've been having a grand old time. College started for a lot of us. TwitchCon's coming up. Catch Frausto out there, and then just it's school, man. Like it's school season, so it's a lot of college stuff that I'm commentating, and a lot of college that I have to be doing, unfortunately. So, with all that said and done, I'm gonna also just probably toss it to you. Um, because we're figuring out what's happening here with production.
Yeah, I know we were supposed to get a couple things done
Mm,
here, but I
it's
believe we should be headed possibly to a break, maybe? What are we
yeah.
doing
So
now?
we're gonna be heading to a quick break. It seems like there's some some sub situation happening here. We're gonna be seeing what's up. One of the players is MIA, but hopefully we can find them so we can see ourselves into some gameplay. With that, we'll see you guys in a bit.
One enemy remaining.
Oh yeah, monster on the loose.
One enemy remaining. There. Turret out. Spike down. C. One enemy remaining. Last player standing. Spike down A. Last player standing. One enemy remaining. Spike down B. 30 seconds left. Last player standing. Almost out. One enemy remaining. Spike down B. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Oh, we are back. Hello and welcome back to Frausto's Creator Cup Series number 4. I'm hoping I'm not reading that Roman numeral wrong because obviously I get that wrong all the time. But once again, it is your number one caster Vok, Ashervok here, my co-commentator, Nerds Corner. And honestly, we should be having a fun day of Valorant.
I'm posing for a thumbnail. Sorry, we are gonna have a sub coming in, just kind of clear up the situation. So thank you for the subs, just swapping. Hey, and you know what? We've seen some crazy substitutes here coming in. They can get a shot at their glory and potentially win out some cash on top of that. So it's a win-win scenario. Have a fun time, play some games. With that said, Ascent, it's going to be the first map with a sub coming in. I am entirely expecting Grizzly to just run standard comp. KO, Sova, Jet, KJ, they're not going to be doing too much. Omen on top of that. It's going to be, just the butter on the bread basics.
Man, KO especially, you can get a lot of good lineups on that map, and being able to disable people literally from cross screen should be pretty fun for you. I imagine not fun for the rest of the team, but it's still good to watch the night fly by, and all of a sudden, that's not going to hit me into like a lockdown, is it? It will, and you're not going to have a fun time.
No more ultimates. Null command. You're not allowed to use them. But I digress. We could talk a lot about it. We can discuss it. I want to get into the agent select. I want to see how they're going to play this. With the sub, they're going to definitely have to shift some stuff around to try and get it together. And I was already talking about how One Cell was confident and comfortable going up against Grizzly because they played and beat them in groups. And they are potentially going into this with a higher level of expectations, and maybe even, like, you can even say they're seated higher because they have that sort of dominance going into it. But we have a sub. The sub could play differently. They are what's called, I looked a little bit about the sub because I want to know. It's Watson who's going to be stepping in. They are a content creator and they are a little bit of an analyst. I think they are a higher level player that is being subbed in. So I think there might be some synergy there, especially if they can quickly pick things up. Maybe it'll be a stumble at the start of timeout to get some comms in order, and then boom, we're back to good, basic, strong Valorant.
Man, I was just about to say that bringing a sub in for a lot of people and a lot of teams can either really make or break you in a couple of ways, because with that sub, the
Whoa.
chemistry and cohesion could be there, but anything else just might be a little interesting and maybe you can get it back on top.
I'm surprised Grizzly going for, instead of the standard comp, they're going to swap Raze and KO, which honestly, fair enough. Especially considering that there might be a comfort pick for one of those players, and Raze is extremely strong nonetheless. For One Cell, it just makes sense. They have Leah on the Reyna. Finally, I'm assuming that's Leah on the Reyna because Leah had the 1,000. They're a one-trick Reyna. 1,000 hours on Reyna. We have Neon on, Temet, of course. Yeah, of course, Leah. And then kind of Sad Boy playing the Sentinel role. Merc kind of filling in as much as they can. And Slambino on the Clove. They've been playing Clove. Slambino, I think, has been playing Clove the entire tournament. Just dedicated smokes.
And Clove being the one character that, I'll be honest with you, in a lot of my games, I've rarely seen, but when they do pop out, it's been a lot of trouble, at least for me. I just might be a bad Valorant player in a lot of the way this sense, but as a controller, it should be a decent pickup. And already going into it, Temet off to a rocket start, able to destroy one bot, but able to avoid another just narrowly before Watson
Whoa.
catch out Leah.
I managed to grab Leah early. Slambino going down as well. This pickup on Watson has been good, and it makes sense. Watson is a subbed player, and they seem to be a very strong, not only mechanical player, but also just comfortable on their role of Raze right now. Temet going down as well. On top of that, gives a flawless victory to Team Grizzly at the start.
Remember how I was saying earlier that a sub can really make or break team chemistry here? I think, I don't want to say it too early, but Watson is starting to look a little scary here. And for our first flawless just in like round one, I'm more interested to see really how this turns out, nerds. I gotta get the popcorn for this. Wait a minute.
Popcorn?
Yes.
What do you put on your popcorn? I'm what's called hot, like I put spicy powder, like chile.
If anything, I've started making like this weird version of like Mexican corn, but it's popcorn, right? With like a little bit of mayonnaise, cheese, hot sauce, good to go.
Well, fair enough. These guys need to cook something up here if they want to potentially win it out. It is going to be an anti-eco, so it makes sense. One Cell is just going to be vibing around, seeing what they can get early rather than taking fights, but I'll see how it goes.
Kind of Sad Boy just now creeping in here over in the corner. Over to A main. Nothing popping off just yet, but able to capture at least one ult point just for a little bit of insurance. Watson, however, popping out with the shots and a satchel there just in case. I imagine someone's going to be very unlucky to step on that. And the tracking going right from the orb into the head of Big Slambino. Going down and in less than dramatic fashion.
Oh, Temet's just gonna be trying to get into this position. They have a shotgun in hand, so I'm assuming they want to do some wacky tobacco stuff. Considering it is an eco round, they're just stalling time here. Makes sense.
Silly goofy with it.
Nah, they're not gonna let him do that. Of course not. They have guns. They know Temet's gonna try and get in their face, so they're gonna immediately displace them. And it's another flawless victory for Grizzly. Great for the economy, considering that they have not only 2 rifles to carry over into this. Actually, sorry, 3, because the Bulldog, the Guardian, and the Vandal. 0 deaths for any of the players. Watson carrying on top of that altogether. I mean, that's just going to start boiling up their economy. If they can win this, that's 3 in a row. And it's going to definitely flip the script on OneCell, who have been a dominant one-unit force that just pushed and trucked on through the game. And now they're being countered pretty heavily here.
I was gonna say, you say one movement force, and here I am saying the force finally meets the immovable object, if you will, which is Team Low Grizzly, and with a sub in place being Watson, who already were just 2 rounds deep and giving a pretty nasty performance overall. Should be fairly interesting as Temet rounding the corner over at mid. Cubby and might find themselves in a little bit of trouble. This was the trouble spot last time. Instead of Watson, it is going to be Ruby this time around, and finds one, but Temet able to get the trade before 300 got him on me. Love the name. He's able to pick one off, and now down to a 3v3. Make that almost was a 4v3, but Leah able to catch out one before it's D. Able to counter back against Leah.
Now we see this kind of slow rotate, kind of sad boy seeing where they can go. And I mentioned a potential victory from Little Grizzly. They win this out, it's going to be very dominant for them. Even if they lose a lot of players, they still carry over the money that they had, since this is their bonus. And looking at how, you know, just cornered these players are, it makes sense. Sad boy does get the trade. Gets another? Wait, it's possible.
Whoa, 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 okay. And right in from the distance, just that pop onto the headshot. Kind of Sad boy rotating over and over to A site, where it's definitely going to be the place to be for actually just 2 people left here. That was almost just a blink and you miss it type moment. Turret pops off just for momentarily seconds. Spike initiated, and with it being planted, you got to be a little more careful. But right out in the open. D
That's rough.
Claps back, counters back, and with a quick defusal now puts Team Little Grizzly up by 3 in the rounds.
That's rough to see. I mean, especially because Grizzly, it was possible. Sad boy managed to get the double as well, so huge props to them. But Grizzly just showing that they have really had not only countered, especially, you know, Watson coming out here and just carrying and helping the team move forward. The sub literally breaking into and breaking this sort of narrative that we initially set by OneCell. Other than that, just that narrative, you have this situation where it's a broken buy. If OneCell win this with a thrifty, great for them. Realistically, they might not be able to, and then they're going to have to kind of slog their way through until they get those ultimates and have that momentum shift. Temet, really, if they get this overdrive coming online soon, that could be the momentum shift around that OneCell wins and slowly starts to bring themselves back up with their head above the water.
And hopefully so, because if not, OneCell are going to be really just neck deep in a lot of water that you really don't want to find yourself drowning in too much and too fast. As Team Little Grizzly pick one off, but the same can be said for OneCell here now. Put down to a 4v4 as we switch over to Slambino, headed through courtyard, while Watson is sticking over to defender side.
Well, Watson has the timings here potentially. Just a matter of if they're going to peek into it. Oh, the Rainaleer is going to push them out of it. The paint shells pop, and there's the showstopper. It's going to be avoided, hiding through logs, smoked off as the players just slowly flooding in. And this flood, if they can get the bomb down, they have a good amount of numbers on the site. Get a pick here, Leah. Great pick. Not only is that going to give them the heal, but it's going to give them the weapon. Unfortunately, Watson's going to wash them out.
Planted.
And a good sacrifice on that one. You just catch the jet off the slide in, but now down to a 3v3. Only fuel left on the bomb that at least try and get in and defuse. Watson getting in with these wall shots, but not finding anything just yet.
Slowly, they're just going to try and get onto the site to find something. Ruby's just in this corner, spam through to see what they can work with, but it's not going to be the best. Immediately, Slambino's going to grab one. Watson, we missed it, but still, I mean, it's to be expected. Grizzly, they had the numbers advantage going into this, especially once they've gotten those initial picks, and Watson has at least the weapons advantage. So 4th round makes sense, but it was really close. OneCell got it down to last 2 players.
And I will say, hold on, my screen was actually lagging out for a quick second there. That did scare me, but I will say earlier in that round, especially that one showstopper that I thought was at least going to hit, but Team OneCell knew to back off just a little bit. Did clip Leah for a significant chunk of damage, but like you said, it was that numbers game that did manage to overtake them, and now sitting at 4-0, we think now might be the time to maybe start sweating a little bit, change your game plan, not too drastically, but at least have to find something, some semblance of footing, as Leah had it heading in here with Empress active, but you also have Temic. Gotta go fast. No Hedgehog involved, and Ruby gets caught out right in between the walls. Watson able to penetrate through here. Just a couple of bullets left, and now bomb planted. Over on an A site, that should be pretty tricky to navigate unless you are Leah, still active on the Empress before being taken out by Watson over on the side, and everything and anything possibly happening. Whether it's the drone, whether it is the shells, and whether it is the shot from the Killjoy here with Slambino diving in, but 300 God Mommy sneaking in behind and leers in with the Odin.
What the heck? I mean, that is just a really solid retake from Grizzly. They had a lot of really good positioning for one cell, but they just couldn't hold it. Grizzly was able to break through it just as fast as it started, and just wow. I mean, even Temet, right? They got their ultimate, they pushed on in. We see them getting the space. Leah managed to not only use that Empress, but also just they had the picks, they had the ultimates, but they didn't have like that oomph, that final kind of push to allow them for that victory, especially because Lasers and Watson all in all are pound for pound just destroying one cell. And I don't know what it's probably a tech timeout right now because they're just debating on what to do, but just still I don't know, I'm just like, that's wild. One cell had that. I feel like they did have that, and it just didn't work out.
And Jenny, can you not? Sorry, that was my
Hey, can you not? That's honestly, that's what, you know what? That is the genuine reaction that I think one cell had. They're like, they looked up to heaven as they're getting Odin. They're like, hey, can you stop, please? Like, can you please, can you give us at least a little bit of room to breathe? Like, oh my God. Oh, and now oh my God, everything's breaking. I'm losing my mind. Ashervok loses theirs. My camera is breaking. The stream is still going. The players are fixing their tech issues, and we are still having a grand old time.
That was so embarrassing. She was just like trying to reach for something on my ass. She's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, can you not? And now she's at the door staring me down, knives, daggers for eyes, and I'm horrified. What have I done? I feel like I'm gonna walk outside and get aimed at by a chancla. Oh. Oh my God.
I need to sip water after that. Oh my God.
I can't even focus back on the game.
Oh my God. We need to get Ashervok. All right.
I'm trying.
5-0. This timeout should give them a little bit of time to hopefully rethink some of their strats, give them a mental reset on top of the fact of fixing whatever potential issues they have with their technology. Not sure exactly what the cause and effect of it is, but what I will say is that maybe that has something to do with a potential 5 that we are seeing in the donut on the other end for one cell.
Man, I was about to say one cell facing almost an uphill battle of issues, right? The tech pause to try and figure everything out. And then it's like that one quote that I immediately thought of for Blade, right? Some people are always just trying to ice skate uphill. And in this situation, I think Team Lil Grizzy are just the top bullies here, pushing you always back down. And for one cell, I feel so bad because that last round, there was some potential. And then what happened? Visual clutter. And then Empress to try and even things out. No. You have to deal with not one, but 2 Odins on top of that.
Not one, but 2? Actually, speaking of 2, we have some other 2 things. I would pay a lot of money. Okay, well... The timing on that switch was vile.
Booty shot
I was gonna say for those
is
kicks.
Insane.
I was gonna say for the shoes, and then we just
I mean, that's like considerable amount of. You know what? I'm not just.
Ass.
Why is it just an upskirt shot?
Oh no, my God! What are these? What are these observers up to?
I would have much preferred like KO upskirt, but that robot ain't in here, and I'm upset. Oh.
Okay, well, we got some news. One of the players is restarting their computer, and when they come back, it should be a little bit better for them. Hopefully, that's kind of the thought process. Not sure what happens.
Hello. Hello, Silva.
We're about to be hunted.
Hunted, you say? That's kind of crazy. That's wild.
Oh my God, bro. It wouldn't be a Frostocast without at least a little bit of memes.
Goodness gracious.
I don't know how to respond to that, Ashervok.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. We've commentated
The
how many
timer's
times
back
together?
on. The teams are getting ready. We have ultimate stats for one cell. They have themselves some room to work with. The potential is here. It's ripe for the occasion. I want to see what they can work with. Scan going out towards mid. Watson immediately going to take down Slambino. They do have their ultimate. That's not dead yet as they resurrect and try to get back into the fight towards mid. It's going to be slammed. They're using multiple ultimates to get into this. Temet seeing what positions they can lock themselves into as they slide up and see if they can slide into some of these players, but they can't find much. Sad Boy picking up laser. On the
Trade
last
for
one.
trade, body for body. I mean, if it's working, it's got to be working for one cell. I wouldn't exactly say a waste of ultis here, but just to pile on top of each other, if you will. And if it works, it works. For Watson, however, I imagine things might be a little scarier considering now you have the majority of one cell trying to hunt you down. Kind Sad Boy headed over into mid-market, with Plant being over at A side at the moment.
Planted.
It should be just a little tense for everybody involved. Alarm bot goes off momentarily, so at least somebody spotted for a
Possible.
quick few seconds as 300 God Mommy sticking on top, sneaking right in.
They're going to be playing with Watson here, right? They have to be. But look at the positioning here. Because they have Sad Boy on this lurk, it might work out for them. Merc seeing if they can get anything out. Sad Boy, Merc on top of it in the lurk. It comes through. Temet's going to grab you potentially on Watson. It's the first found. And that timeout seemed to definitely help them either, you know, get their thoughts in order, or at least get their players more active. Kind of curious now which player on which team had that, you know, tech issue.
And now we are at 5-1. One cell, honestly, not out of it just yet. We get a little bit of view of the terrace here as we head out into our next round. 14 seconds left on that clock. But for Team Lil Grizzly, kind of disintegrated. I wouldn't exactly say too fast there, but against at least 1, 2, 3, almost 4 ultimates in that last round. Made things a little chaotic for everybody involved, nerds.
Interesting. So my prediction was correct. It is going to be Leah, the one cell team roster that needed to reset their computer. So hopefully that gives them a decent amount of confidence, I would say. I don't know what else to add to that. Leah going down, unfortunately, the name sake immediately falling. We see a counter ultimate come out, but Leerzin is just in here popping these guys. The fourth found for Zin as they are gonna hunt for this fifth Merc down in the corner, but they're just gonna get taken down. No ace for you to be found as Grizzly is just gonna be seeing what they can hunt. Merc, the last player standing for one cell.
God, that's so unfortunate. Just that Sova on Sova violence. That's really tough to try and grapple with. But Merc now becoming the hunter in this situation with 300 God Mommy crossing the corner. It won't be enough for Merc to avoid the Wrath of Jet here. Is now 6-1 in the game with Team Lil Grizzy starting to pull ahead just a little too far for comfort.
And the more they pull apart, the harder it becomes to come back together. But
anyways,
okay, tomfoolery aside, Watson has their ultimate, and so does Rube. They have confidence playing together as a squad. The economy is a little bit broken for Grizzly right now, but I don't think it's like that broken that they can't win this, considering they still have general weapons advantage going into it. But one cell, they have a real shot at picking up this round and potentially from there carrying that momentum. They did pick up a previous round and then lost a lot of momentum because Temet kind of whiffed. And that's the thing I noticed about this player. They're a little hot and cold sometimes, where once they're warmed up and ready, the wrist breaking hospital flicks that you need to do to try and kill them, or the absolute luck that you need to have to break them down, is insane, right? So Temet is one of those players where it's like you gotta watch out for them going on a hot streak. Leah wins that fight. Okay, good strike.
Some of the shots coming in from Ruby. Kind of missed their mark there, and a door comes down, but shouldn't be an issue for 300 God Mommy here. Is on the site. You have one body there, but a firebolt coming out. At least should do a little bit of damage, and that is going to be hit on the Leah. Tracks through right through the floor. Leers it, catches them out, and kind of Sad Boy rounding the corner here, a little low on health before it's deep. Snuffs out Temet. The alarm bot has been triggered and should give just a little bit more information for everybody involved.
Would hope so. There is an ultimate online for one cell potentially, but I doubt that they're going to have the ability to go for it with Merc on such low HP and Grizzly. Their roster, they have a they have everyone surrounding the spike, right? They just have everyone active. I don't even know how to like quantify what they have because the spike is down. Beautiful pip there on the side, thanks to our observers. Just got to shout them out. They have to get that spike. They can't get it. There's 10 seconds on the board. I mean, I think Merc grabs the ult orb here and then they save. But
Really just given little choice but to do so. I mean, 5 seconds left on that one, and then into our next round. That's another point going over to Team Lil Grizzy to put them at 7-1. I mean, honestly, give it a couple of rounds. It would be funny to see one cell kind of close the gap there, but I don't think it would be fun to see the cursed number stat line of a 9-3 rear its ugly head again. So let me.
that'd be rough.
It really would be. That can either lead two ways, right? Team Lil Grizzy obviously could take it from there, or one cell could be making the most insane comeback possible from such a deficit. Could go either way. But until then, I have hope for both of these teams, and let me not be biased here and put on a commentator's curse anytime soon.
I mean, I was biased towards one cell at the start, and look at what's happening here. We see the Empress yet again. It was a very close round the last time Leah decided to pop it, so the potential is very high. It's rather rambunctious, though. Ruby's waiting out on the corner. Temet getting one off screen. They've already inserted themselves into mid. And this is where Temet starts to shine. Like I said, once they heat up, it's really hard to cool them off.
Man, gonna need at least 70-degree maybe negative water on that one, but honestly, just getting iced out, it is gonna be Temet there, which is really unfortunate. I want to say you kind of jinxed them, but you know what?
A little bit.
Just a smidge. And for Lear's,
a little bit.
Catches not just one, but two. Big Slambino just gets slammed right into the ground, which is really unfortunate and kind of sad, boy. Could even turn around in time before 300 God Mommy was there to get them as well before Leah initiates the trade, finds one more onto Watson, and almost finds a third before Ruby decides to shut that down.
He's going to leave Merc as the last player standing here. They just need to find two. It's possible, considering that, you know, Watson's down. Feels like it went from being, you know, Temet the raid boss to now Watson's kind of the raid boss. Like, you got to take them down before you can potentially win a round off of it. But I digress. Merc's going to go for the plant. They tap it. It's just a bait to see if they can get Ruby out. And Ruby's not looking in the right direction. Becomes a 1v1. A tap onto it to bait out the Hunter's Fury. The timing isn't going to be there. They tap it again. They're just playing for it. But this time they stick, knowing they have enough HP. Merc has it. They've gamed the system. And now, one cell. They have one lifeline. Lear's sorry, my bad. They're gonna try to go in right now through Garden. The garage push is there. The door has been open. Merc just spamming through. You want to win the shots here. They're playing footsie, and Merc gets the read to find themselves a second round and a potential lifeline.
That is actually insane. Smoothie box, if anything, for an insane clutch moment. And me personally, I think I'd have to walk away, maybe touch some grass away from my computer moment. That was insane. Yes, please play the replay. And Learson just put in the right place, the right timing. I mean, imagine not for them, but for Merc, the cards finally stacked in their favor, and at least able to get one cell another round to at least put things at 7-2.
Hopefully, right? That's the goal. At least, like, please, bare minimum, get us something. Give us a, you know, I guess Apex line,
pitter patter.
Give us a lifeline. Temet's already gonna pick up another. They have their ultimate here. It's getting into the later halves of the game. I kind of hope that they go for it, at least to some capacity. Slambino gets another onto Learson as they go in. Watson in the corner. Slambino again, the Sultan of the Silvers. One of the pickups of the century. We see the spike going down and a flawless victory. It seems like they have finally hit their stride.
Finally found their groove. Literally no Emperor involved in this case, but one cell now at 7-3, not the 9-3 cursed stat line that we are so used to and so used to commentating over. But honestly, if it works, it works. Now starting to slowly close the gap here is now I imagine it's switched over to Team Lil Grizzly, who have to find themselves in that precarious position. What they're gonna do next?
Next step forward is probably, I mean, they've been doing a really good job just straight up retaking and holding sites and getting a lot of early picks. One cell's plan, they kind of mid-round call with Temet, just, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna IGL a little bit, that's about it. But it hasn't been anything crazy. It's just Temet go kill, go, you know, get the most important pieces, make sure someone can play with them. Leah's gonna grab one, Temet grabs another, and the heat is just up and on at this point.
And absolutely moving fast with the schmoovin', if you will, and Merc catches Watson off the bolt, but with the shots, it is going to be Temet to clean things up against its D. With one cell now, really using it 7-4, gotta look clean. That champion shot.
Always the emote. They brought Fortnite into Val.
They
Is
did?
always the joke, right?
Oh.
The emoting. I love it though. I think it's it's a unique little segment here. We get to see Temet just dominating them again. And again, it seems like the strategies for both these teams have always been revolving around, you know, go in, take the fights, and Temet winning this one. And Merc also, we saw being picked up one with the shock dart. All in all, just goes to show that once they get started, I feel like it's hard to slow them down. Once you get the ball rolling, the cliff starts to crumble.
Man, sniper in hand, at least trying to find one shot here or there. And Temet really just getting the lineup here, but now swapping over with plenty of weapon swaps as well. Approach him, hello?
They're giving Temet, yeah, Temet's like, you know what? Well, you know, maybe I'll go for the Odin Neon. Yeah, the patented Omen Neon, the Neon Odin. Omen Neon, oh my gosh, words. But I highly doubt that. Yeah, thank you.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's totally cool. But with the
Love you, Cookie.
killjoy, the killjoy lockdown in place. About 2 seconds left on that one, and I imagine nobody would be dumb enough to be caught in that.
no.
But for Temet, unfortunately, just a sliver of health gone, and finds one more time another D. Actually, found the third here, Slambino going down and out with the recon bolt revealing the location of D and Watson here. But I think they could seriously care less with Watson snuffing out Merc, and for Team Little Grizzly to get a flawless 8-4 in the stat line.
Flawless victory. I mean, hey, they brought it back. They got the 4th round up here, so it's not going to be a complete, you know, realistically, right? You didn't get completely 9-3'd. You didn't get, like, you know, 2-10. You have some room to work with. If they lose this, it becomes 10-4. They still have a possibility to come back, and that's kind of the biggest thing. Is like you want to make sure that on this defensive side, you know, you have some room to work with. Obviously, defense is not the best side for the double duelists, but you have 2 really strong retake ultimates within the Merc's ult and the KJ ult. You could even say Temet and Leah have really powerful ults for retake just to re-clear a lot of space. So they have a lot of potential with getting aggressive, you know, finding out info. One of their strats that they have used in the past was get info and then send Temet out in that place. So a lot of potential for that. I'm expecting to see it.
And plenty of potential, really, but 8-4 right now. One still has been closing the gap these last couple of rounds, but Team Little Grizzly managed to take the last one with now having swapped over. Momentum can change it drastically with now Slam beat here at mid-market, trying to line up these shots as best as possible, but instead might be trying to figure at least something out, maybe trying to somewhat Merc, however, taking point, moving a little further forward with Third God Mommy, and it looks to be the rest of Team Little Grizzly actually opting to switch over, possibly in the A side.
I'm the mid lurk, honestly. If they had someone lurking mid, could have been really strong here, but Slambino's gonna hold it. I think Slambino's gonna either hear them or sight them in some capacity when they don't pay attention. But they double up onto the angle, and unfortunately, Slambino's just gonna get slammed instead.
Man, didn't even have to move the crosshair barely over, just absolutely picked through. Merc trying to make up for it, but being shot through the wall and narrowly avoiding a couple of bullets there. Still at a good amount of health, but with Killjoy on one side, you still have 300 Godmommy to worry about on the other, but Leah avoids that. Watson, however, tanking through Merc before kind of Sad Boy finds one, Temet finds another, and Ruby. So back and forth trades overall with Team Little Grizzly now down to 1 with Temet and Leah trying to clean it up as best as possible here.
See what they can work with. I mean, they have this in the bag. There's no time to waste, so just potentially going for the play. And you get it. 5th round found. Temet's going to grab the 3-piece, and One Cell starting to show a little bit more life here. If the iron has been hot, it's started to become molten.
And really starting to boil over. Volcanic, if anything. And of course, to go over back to our replay, and Watson just with the shot of time. Slambino just standing there was a really good one at that. But if anything, really have to give it up to the team here, especially Temet being able to clean up with these last couple of kills, especially onto D, to be able to secure a round win.
As much as it's unlikely, oh no, it's also unlucky. They're botting up into the 2nd round here, so it's a potential victory. Leah needing to play retrieval, but again, they lose the Vandal on the site. God Mommy's already there. Did they already pick up the rifle? No way. I think they picked up
Uh-oh.
a Vandal here. That's such a huge loss. 2 of your star players, a rifle given to the hands of your enemies, and a potential anti-eco going in the favor of the ecoing roster. They're going to pop out this smoke, but look, it's Learson with the rifle through, gets the 1-for-1, and kind of sad boy is just here towards heaven alone. It's kind of sad to say, but I doubt that they're going to win this.
Man, kind of sad boy looking a little too sad for comfort as D that Killjoy and Killjoy Violence, and now Team Lil Grizzy at 9-5 with such a huge loss for one cell. Though, I mean, you spend that amount of money on a gun, and all of a sudden you find yourself just losing it straight up to the hands of your enemy, no less than Watson. Really, with the Marshall shot heard around the world.
I mean, just that was unlucky, right? Temet going down early, call it unlucky and a good play. From there, after that, you have to just take into account the state of everything else. Like, I'm just thinking about it, like, they could have won it, but they lost the Vandal. Leah was trying to play recovery there, and unfortunately, Little Grizzly, they knew, okay, we cannot let that happen. And now you're in such a position where you're potentially going to have 10-5 on the board. One cell, they either need to farm some ultimates here or really win on a strong eco.
There.
Man, might have to be the ultimates you rely on a little too heavily here, just to anything, to find yourself at more of an advantage. I mean, you still have a little bit of a ways to go in regards to the round, sitting at 9-5, and that gap is just getting further and further away from you with that last round, especially with that Marshall just gone down and now no more rifling on that one. But over at A main, but back at Cubby, it is going to be Tenet sticking to this spot with a couple in range. D off in the corner there, now having to rotate over is now Tree getting a little too active here over at A site. Learson finds one with Leah going down to very clean headshot and Ruby able to plant.
Spike planted.
Plant gonna go down and the players are gonna try and circulate around. I mean, it is an eco, so I expect them to get something. I just don't know what. Sad boy retreating, allowing Temet to take first contact. Makes sense. They have the sheriff in play, the stronger player, but unfortunately, Watson continuing the bonus from before. The time's gonna tick away. They're gonna get smoked off again because they're churning it in a really positive way. Watson with a wash, and you're gonna have to see Merc run away.
And the paint shell's almost getting the Merc here at 88 health and taking at least a couple of chip damage off, but now with that rifle in play might be a little too dangerous. And as I say that, a flawless yet again for Team Lil Greasy to move here. 10-5.
10-5. Wow. I mean, 10-5. They have a ultimate online. Grizzly, I mean, Watson really has been like the thing to shake it up. If you're thinking about it like a what's called like a shaker bottle, he's the metal ball in it, just bouncing around, completely changing up the consistency of what we were going to be seeing before. Because it's 10-5, they got double the scoreline. Watson's got 20 kills on the board. We saw Temet being the star player, and now Watson, I mean, not only that, but they're just going to be walking and waltzing into the site with a shot in hand. A potential rocket launcher here as they're looking for something, a Rosa, but it's going to put all the players out of here.
And Showstopper kind of popped a little too early here. I mean, really in my opinion, but both destroyed. Learson finds one before Merc is able to slide in yet again for Sova. Violent Spike has been planted, however, and Team Lil Grizzy trying to set up a stalwart defense for one cell. At least try and get in here as best as possible. 300 God Mommy, however, over in the corner on the B site. Almost stacked on top of boxes momentarily there for a second, at least trying to get a grapple onto things before that recon bolt revealed their location and getting a good couple of shots right to the head at 15 health, but should be enough to at least take out Big Slambino here.
At least that, right? You'd hope so. Merc's gonna go down, boom, and it's 11-5, 2 players up. I don't know, one cell seeming like they're gonna have a hard time here. But okay, Asherrock, we've been in this place before. One team does not the best on the first map. They're gonna win Sunset. We're gonna go to game 3. That's most likely, I feel like, the scenario that's gonna be here, especially considering that the way that one cell played. The only point of contention is the fact that on Sunset, it wasn't like a 3-13 that we saw on Lotus. It was an 8-13. So they won, and they won pretty well with the 5-round deficit, but they didn't win like immediately, right? it took him a little bit of time to get there. So that time is what's really bugging me right now. If OneCell can at least make a comeback here and showcase some competitiveness, it's gonna be rough for Sunset.
It genuinely is, and one part of me wants to be a little evil here and say this could be a pretty easy sweep for Team Grizzy going into our next couple of games, but I don't want to be that mean and then all of a sudden wake up to like, wait, why are they giving me like 30 DMs of people saying, Ash, you're biased again? So let me stop right there and not risk my entire career behind that. As Tevin on top of rafters now, gun in hand, and with the classic, at least trying to get a little bit of a charge before he's trying to dash in, but maybe not, knows that, hey, if I do this, I pop up on top of rafters, it might not be the best decision. Of course, lest I just get popped right out of the sky.
Looking right now, they're rotating towards B. Bomb headed out that way. Grizzly, they have a good amount of players on that side already. Watson's there. If they can take down, I mean, they have cut a lot of noise as well. So as long as they can make this fake seem real with Sova, that's kind of what matters. And look, Temet pops their ultimate. The fake's gonna be real. Kind of Sad Boy's gonna get caught off. Immediately Satchel's in. Sad Boy goes down. That's 2 found off rip, and Temet has been displaced. They've really been playing this so perfectly. Zaps you in the face. Temet's gonna find one before getting traded.
Of course, D finds Temet, but now with the spike planted, 11 and 5 here with Ruby now going down, so no more Omen to be found. And I could say the same about both Ruby and its D Slambino. After deciding to wake up a little bit here, but at almost -1 HP, that is going to be tough to try and go against 300 Godmommy here, who takes a significant amount of DK damage.
It's possible though. That's going to be difficult timing. Gets the one.
I'm going to dash through.
It's a lose-lose scenario. Either you get killed by the ultimate or you get killed by the player. So
Match point.
Yeah, you're now sitting at match point. OneCell, I imagine, and this just being game 1 here, have some pretty tough decisions, I imagine, to go through. And with, I mean, at least one ultimate up on that side, coming in from Merc, that would be Hunter's Fury. I really don't know how else they'd be able to well navigate this against Team Lil Grizzy, who at 12 and 5 could just close this game out, move on to the next map, or really for OneCell, that would have to be almost a, what, 5, maybe 6, 7 round comeback they'd have to pull off here?
yeah, I mean, 7 rounds in a row that you got to win. It's going to be difficult. They do pop this ultimate to try and contest them out. Watson's going to be displaced back into the smoke. Shotgun, but it's not going to land onto anyone. They push out towards mid. Slambino could get this to work for them, but unfortunately, they're just going to get caught. Learson is going to leer and lock you in.
You know what? I see what you did there. I'd say bars, and I'm proud of you. Kind of sad sitting in, but now we're to attacker side spawn. It is 300 Godmommy moving on to Learson as well, and honestly, getting a rotate over into B right now. Is A, almost I wouldn't exactly say completely abandoned or devoid of life, but it is OneCell. They do have a few members over there. Now the Killjoy lockdown is going to be active here to maybe cause a little bit of trouble. And I imagine for Leah, finds 2 being Learson and D with Empress active. This should be a massive thing, but 300 Godmommy able to shut that down before it can even pop off. But now down to a 2v2. Make that a 2v1 very quickly with kind of Sad Boy getting the angling and the rifling down almost to a team. Merc sneaking in right behind, and Ruby trying to charge forward, but maybe some gas left in the tank still for OneCell.
And they're at least going to extend the game for one more, keep the lifeline in as much as possible, and like I said, showcase some of that competitiveness and get the scoreline looking rather, similar. Leo with the 2 as well. Popping the Empress is going to be rough because they don't have it, but it was just very effective for Leah. And I think, honestly, having those players like Leah and Temet getting super active in this game is going to be super important because we already have Learson and Watson popping off with about 20 picks each. And just the kill participation from players like 300 Godmommy and the rest of the roster for Little Grizzly is so much better, higher than for OneCell right now that you can't really rely on solo outplays. I think most of OneCell needing to step up, not only in strategy, but also in playstyle. Temet picking up first up on Watson. Really good stuff for them.
And with the Outlaw, which that gun has been such a problem for a lot of people going into this game, and can really just do just a massive amount of damage, and in the hands of Temet, I imagine should be a bit of an interesting thing for Team Lil Grizzy to try and combat against, with Merc having to send out a couple shock darts just in case against smokes. And right now, with the firebolt active and that recon drone should be able to get at least a little bit of information needed. Spots out at least 3 and back on the cooldown. Recon bolt yet again with the Vandal in hand over at Garden.
But so far, it's been about 60 seconds, and it's just been a pick for one cell. So realistically, this could be a 7th round. It is a buy for Grizzly, so they have some weapons to work with. We see some shots, a little bit of a bait, but Slambino is going to be caught out. And in this state, these guys need to showcase something here. Slambino, the Sultan of the Silvers, as I was saying, Slippery Serpent manages to pick one more up, but Merc is going to go down.
And Slambino snuffs out one, but trade for trade, pick for pick on both sides here of Team Little Grizzly and one cell. But for Leah, that's going to be a massive 2 catch. Really with the Omen being Ruby going down and out last year. And Team Little Grizzly had possession of the spike just for a few seconds before D gets snuffed out. Leah finding 3rd kill of the game. One cell now sitting at 12-7, and I imagine that multi-round comeback might not be too far, but we're still a match point. There's some hope, but it's barely there.
It's literally on the edge at all times. Like, there's no way that as one cell you have an inch of breath. Like, you have to be always on that line. And considering Leah and Temet have risen up to the occasion so far, they've won 2 rounds. I do want to give them some credit, but not as much as I want to give to, you know, the rest of Grizzlies roster. They have not only match point, but they also just have 1 or 2 more rounds. They save up, they get a couple picks here and there, they buy Vandals, 1 solid round, and it's over.
I wouldn't exactly say it's over, really not until it's over, and honestly, I don't want it to be over just yet. This is such a good game going into it, and I still have some amount of hope left for one cell, but against 300 Godmommy with the ulti active, it should be one very pissed off Jet leading into this if we're able to get the site quick enough to be able to utilize it. Leah finds one more with Ruby going down before Lear's able to get revenge for their teammate here. Merc, however, catching 300 Godmommy off the bolt. Lear's in planting. And now with big Slambino over.
Oh, Watson bonks themselves. Slambino and kind of sad boy picking up picks. Watson, last one here on the board. Grizzly coming in to swipe things through, but it's not gonna land, and one cell finds another round here. Merc on the defuse. On top of that, they're gonna try and get that ult charged as fast as possible, as it's now 4 rounds. A lot more likely, but this should be a buy for Team Grizzly, right? Yes, it is. I believe so.
I mean, it has to be a full buy. I mean, you want as much force going into this next one as possible. You just allowed one cell, not just pop up with 1, not 2, but almost 3 to 4 rounds straight that have been full wins. And now still sitting at match point for Team Little Grizzly. I imagine it's more of a moment of, okay, let's end this as quickly as possible. It's match point, move on to the next map. But with these last few rounds going over to one cell, I mean, chances of a comeback are looking more and more likely. I never thought I'd say here.
I mean, yeah, like you said, never say never. I do always got to give credence, like, you know, it's possible, it's likely. I like how Watson is sort of baiting out this dart and their positioning, jumping up into a different area. Temet is going to potentially peek into it. The drop is there. Watson goes down, tries to get a second, but it's not going to land. But still, information has been gained. Leah going in for backup, some counter fire as Learson sends the drone in and just catches a salsa dance on Temet.
Just dancing on him, that movement, if you will. And now Learson rotating over. Looks like Temet's going to be there just for the moment with the spike in hand. And majority of one cell just sitting here over B main and B lobby. Literally the place to be, full pun intended, as 300 Godmommy in with the rotate. And D just sitting, waiting, patiently, quietly, menacingly, if you will.
Dun, dun, dun,
Dun, dun,
something
dun,
to do with
dun.
it. I like how Ruby's just crouching in the background. Like, wait, what am I doing here? What's my game plan?
What's going on?
I think they're gonna burst out though on the site. They want to kind of, you know, see if anyone rotates off to try and catch them out. But considering that Temet has the read onto them, the ticket's gonna be clocked. Temet misses their peek through, but it's all right. It's gonna give space for Grizzly to go in and potentially take the fights. Ruby evens out the numbers. Kind of sad boy going down to them. Temet still with that op in hand. This is the closest round we've seen so far between the teams. Spike is down, 45 seconds. Leah pushes in to take fights, and the pressure is there as they wait for it. Leah's gonna go down. Leah's in, pushes in. They want to win this through. They have their ultimate. Hunter's Fury's out and active, and there's enough players to defend them. Temet gonna take down one. Slambina gonna go down, and boom, it's D. Goes for it. Temet gets the 4K and locks them in the 9th round. One away from double digits.
My God, there is plenty of gas left in the tank with one cell. I apologize, I was very unfamiliar with your game and with the defusal coming in from Merc and just in time. Now we are sitting at 12 and 9 stat line, only a few rounds away from being able to possibly tie this maybe into an overtime.
Oh man, it could be. I love the salsa dance. Hunter's Fury came after Learson, and then they immediately, you know, unfortunately lost players on site. Slambino did also pop their ultimate to try and stay alive there, which is unfortunate because they died from it and they don't have their ult here. But again, 4 in a row, the defuse is there. Like I said, it's the retakes that are really kind of working for one cell. 2 retakes so far. They have been pretty clean. They're probably just going to continue going into it. Watson has just been forcing up these marshals consistently to try and get Temet out early, but it just hasn't been as fruitful so far because Temet's realized that that's the strategy they're going with, so they're going to be playing around that. And the consistent forces from Grizzly have been consistently kind of shooting them in the foot, it seems.
I mean, genuinely, maybe pass here. It's D. Now over on the side over at Link, but back at top it is Watson with that dastardly Marshall back in hand. And I imagine if you are kind of sad, but just stay there. As I say, a little bit of warning here. You don't want to get caught in those crosshairs. And the same can be said for Learson with the spike in hand. And for Team Lil Grizzy, might be just slightly time to panic a little bit as one cell have taken not one but two but multiple rounds in a row to put them at 12 and 9 here and about 40 seconds left on the clock with Leah sitting on top of rafters, Vandal in hand. I imagine it's going to be that Lear to get a little bit of sight lines back in action. Watson, however, rotating a little under, Boombot back in hand.
Action's gonna get at it. Watson's just hiding around. There's that spike down, and the retake is gonna come through. They shock dart you. Leah is gonna try and start us off. It's not gonna land though. And I think that was their entire game plan, was just, again, you know, retake, which is why I'm surprised. It's D has such a good lurk. They have a potential timing here. They're not gonna make themselves known until if they whiff the shot. Watson grabs Merc though. Regardless, Temet's there. And I mean, if they took the shot earlier, it might have been playing differently, but unfortunately, it's not gonna last.
It's now 12 and 10. Team Lil Grizzy. I'm saying it's now possibly time to panic. You do not want to find yourselves dropping such a lead like this one, and it's still match point. You just need one more. One more, nerds.
I mean, listen, there's 2 more chances. They have 2 more chances. They have this round, and then they have the next round. Because they win it. Yeah, because literally 2 more chances. They have 2 more chances. And they're buying up into it, right? They have Watson's ultimate. So I do not expect them to lose. I would hope we don't see roses here, but could happen. Watson, what are you going to do here? I feel like that's going to be the big play. Temet again with just an Odin in hand. First they went for the op. Now they went for the Odin. The op is, by the way, down there. So they have the possibility to go for it. Slides through.
Oh my
Still
God.
gets 300 God Mommy. By the way, just got to showcase this. And they're basically playing with the Odin like a Sova while Merc is down towards Halls. Leah pops another on top of that. This is madness. Oh, it's a double though.
Oh, okay. Maybe possibly chance, but as long as Temet has that Odin, it might prove to be a massive issue for everyone involved on the side of Team Lil Grizzly. One cell, however, popping back. Merc finds one. Slambino absolutely puts down Ruby for now 12 and 11. One more.
No
this
way.
could just be either overtime or Team Lil Grizzly could really make this a little dramatic and put it at match point, win the thing, and then head to the next step. We gotta talk about that
Just
slide in
look
though.
at that. Temet was just zooming around. So I just want to shout out, like, that was a solid replay, because that was probably one of my favorite moments to just just watch as a caster. Like, what? How? Pardon me? Temet, you're not supposed to be getting those, but they are, so you can't really argue with that. Watson's just gonna go straight for it. Finds one. Temet gets the trade, though. It's a little bit rough. They missed the gun, unfortunately, but they're still gonna take the space. What is going on? Watching Temet play sometimes is chaotic as all hell. They get it out of the air. Like a dove just being dinked almost immediately. What?
There's just no way. There's absolutely no way. That's third kill of this round, Temet. And really, Learson finding two more. Fight that another Leah being the very unfortunate victim here.
Oh,
A couple
no.
of good shots with the firebolt, and Learson narrowly avoids it. Hunter's Fury up and active. And at 25 health, you really have to try and make this count. And I think Big Slambino might be in for a world of hurt if they're not careful enough, trying to line up the shots through. And Recon Bolt going out for that extra little bit of information. Odin back in hand as Learson now stuck between a rock and a hard place, or in this situation, it might be the remainder of one cell and a wall here. And reloading, just in case. 100 ammunition to pop through, but both Slambino and Temet.
There's nothing they can
What is
do.
going on?
I don't think there's anything they can do. Like, Learson has to go for this plant. And with 25 seconds, they have to make a push here. They find Temet. No! It cannot end here! Slambino gets it! Honestly, the single greatest, I think, pickup for, like, I can't believe they're a silver player. Like, I cannot believe Slambino is a silver player. Because we were told, like, oh, Slambino's silver. 11 assists, 10 kills. They have some huge impact on the server so far. And after such a grueling battle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, needed to double check my math there. 7 rounds in a row. One cell brings us back into overtime.
Can I be honest with you, nerds? I think Slambino's a big fat liar. Silver player like this, I don't want to believe. How do you play like this?
Yeah. I mean, kind of Sad Boy and Slambino, I believe, are the two low elo players on it. I mean, it makes sense, right? They, unfortunately, looking at the kill feed, kill participation, yeah, makes sense. And some of their gameplay, it makes sense. But the coaching and just like the way that they've been picking things up as well is insane. And they've been playing so well as a dedicated roster together. Temet picks up the first off to God Mommy. What?
Ruby finds two, slides in almost right behind here. Now one cell is down to a 3-man, but Team Low Grizzly down to 2. It's 12 and 12. Oh my God, spike being planted. And finally going in here, Temet might want to be just to zap somebody here momentarily. And through it all, Learson finds one, finds two. Temet and Leah are down, are gone, but sneaking on top of rafters, it is Merc. That's Sova on Sova violence that you love to see. But now with D, the D feels like going out, but stopping just momentarily.
Oh,
Another
no.
Oh no, just hits right in the corner, but it has to be. Just go for it, Merc. Be careful with it. D's right there.
Oh my
And
God,
that's
no
such a
way.
clutch situation. The last second Hunter's
Asherock.
Fury.
They lost on attack. They've been losing on attack. They just won their overtime attack half, and now they're back on the defense. They win this, it's over. They just swept the team. Grizzly was at a deficit, and this is, I think, the first time in Creator Cup Grand Finals that we've seen a team come back from not only an insane deficit of, I believe it was 5-12, and they needed to win 7 rounds in a row, but also win in the first overtime on top of that. The 2 records being broken at the same time.
It was a 7-point deficit. They won all 7 rounds in a row. Now in the overtime. One more, done. Over with. We head to the next map. One cell is on a mission. They're absolutely cracked, and if anything, PC check after, but I'm joking. Of course, all in good faith is Team Low Grizzly. Now have to contemplate with the fact that we could either set it into double overtime, or one cell could be just as vicious and take the full thing.
Oh
Location
my
revealed
God.
off the back of a recon bolt. And Watson prepping for a comeback with the rest of the team here, trying to get the shots through. D finds another. Kind of Sad Boy absolutely gets popped right through the dome, and now sitting at rafters, not wanting to even let or allow the idea of taking the pop through. But the shots off the
Look where D is.
sniper. This
The
is getting
position is
devious.
there.
This is getting nasty. One more and that could have almost been it, but D able to catch out Merc.
Oh, now it's just going to be the 2 versus 4. Each player needing to find 2 picks. Slambino, showcase what you got here. Sprays through. Gets his couple of picks on Learson, but it's not going to be a lock just yet. The time is ticking away. We see the decay pop through as the spray through the bottom comes out on top of them. Learson locks in Temet now, needing to get all the picks on the board, but they run out of weapons. We're going into double OT.
This could turn into a triple, quadruple, possibly, but it's still so entertaining to watch another overtime, and it is going so back and forth that I imagine for once this timeout is much needed to plot everything out going into this game.
I don't understand. I mean, Temet, yeah, no, you got to give them credit there, observers, because like they have been not only carrying with the team, but also like this is a really important timeout for them. Hello there.
Just the nose. Oh,
hi there, Neon.
Whoa.
It's called. Why is my first thing that I thought was like, what the? I did not realize
Why
Neon had
Neon's
those thick
eyelashes so
lashes.
big?
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. I was gonna say the eyelashes. I'm like, I did not realize her eyelashes were that.
Those are not wings. Those are like propellers. I feel like
That's why
one
they go
batch
so
is gonna fly
fast.
away.
Oh my God. We got derailed so quickly. The timeout here, they're going to be talking about how they could potentially win here. Fellow Glasses, where they have a lot that they need to work on, especially for one cell, because in that previous game, it was difficult for them. But I don't think that it is like the most impossible scenario for one cell to win this out, because they had a lot of momentum. They just broke the momentum the first round within about 8 rounds in a row, 7 in the previous half and then 1 in the overtime half. They just managed to break that momentum. If Grizzly could just find these next 2, it would have all been worth it.
I'm hoping that it's worth it in the next one, but
no.
Merc didn't even hear Watson pop up behind them. Gets murked themselves. Pun fully intended. And now Slambino trying to salvage what could be left of this going forward. Now Leah on the side, and I don't even think they know that D is just right there
they
in the
hear
corner,
him.
but they do. They hear them,
What?
but
No,
D
sorry,
claps back just as quickly with the impossible shots before Slambino enacts the trade, and
They saw the sliver of KJ's arm, and Leah still lost that fight. That's so unfortunate. Watson just jumps on top of them. Not only that, but they also have themselves a raised rocket. It lands onto Slambino. Sad Boy pushing out. The whiff is there. Sad Boy with the double. The clutch for one cell.
there's absolutely no way. The showstopper was fully active, and if anything, one more lineup could have put Team Chrissy such an advantage here, but now we're heading into another match point. We go back to our replay, and everything and anything could have possibly happened. We had not 1, 2, but 3 smokes on site, and Slambino and Temet both dropped down, but it was Watson to find Temet. Had a showstopper in hand, the paint shells as well to find Slambino, but had it not been for kinda Sad Boy, just with that one lucky shot, one cell almost might have been done and over with, but now one more chance here for either team as we're on match point for one cell, but Team Low Grizzly still have the potential to set it to another overtime. Through to God Mommy, however, won't be here for the moment. Temet finds him again.
Temet falls back. They do not want to fight Watson here. They're going to just pick up these fights. Watson's there on the site. Spike is down, and the pressure's on. Watson caught off guard by Sad Boy, who gets the triple! The double, then the triple on top of that? What?
Dude, there's no way.
Oh my gosh, my camera broke.
You know it's bad when Nerds'
no.
camera breaks out of pure anxiety. Like, what? Not one, not two. Triple to end the game and head into our next map. From such an insane 7-round deficit, mind you. And then to take it into overtime, double overtime at that, and win almost a third?
I don't know what to say. I'm back. Hello.
I'm back.
I don't know what to say. I'm just gonna state that like that was single-handedly one of, if not the most insane comebacks, and just the value that we see from some of these lower elo players. You should never sleep on them because they play in the most insane ways. It's kind of funny because me and Paulsable were literally talked about this, where they talked to Jakey, who played, on Cloud9 and VCT, and they talked about how in VCT it's even easier to read because the higher level the player, sometimes, you can read them, you can predict them. Lower level, sometimes you just don't know what they're gonna do, and they truly bring some of the most insane clutches to the table. Huge shouts out to Sad Boy, not only for finding the double in the first one, but then another one on top of that, to triple. Like, are we gonna be seeing aces from them in the future? That's what I want to be seeing here. But I digress. I mean, there's just so much going on.
And I said earlier before we even started that I imagined this would be so back and forth, but I had no idea we would be leading into 1 overtime, 2 overtimes. I thought we were going to lead into a third one here, but then here comes one cell with the most impossible comeback possible. I'm sitting here like, there's no way that could work. There would have to be like a 7-round comeback, like in a row. And I thought it would just be, you know, GG's easy for Team Low Grizzly. No, we're gonna
I'm
have
like,
a
I'm
hell
all
of a
over it,
match
dude.
next one.
I am all over the place after that, but I do need to kind of, take a breath. We're going to be heading into a break soon. But before we head into a break, I just want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor. Thank you to our sponsor, Online Battlegrounds. They're a new tournament platform that allows you to play and challenge with your friends with weekly FPS games. You can create your own leagues. You can enter into some existing leagues. You can win and set some prizes on top of that. Huge shout out to them. To learn more, go check out Qor Gaming on Twitter, and you can get some information on them, or just look up Online Battlegrounds. You can find some stuff about them. That's QOR Gaming. And if you don't know how to spell gaming, we got we're gamers out here. You gotta know how to spell gaming. But check them out on Twitter, please. And thank you for supporting such an insane endeavor. With that, I mean, I think we're headed off, right?
I need a water break. I need to touch grass.
Well, we'll see you guys in a bit. Cheers.
Get out of here. Shortcut. My ult's ready.
Three gone.
One enemy remaining.
Now 4. Shock dart. Shot down.
Found them. Killed my bot. Last player standing. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Skedaddle. You're done. My double's dead. Grenade. Spike down. B. One enemy remaining. Flawless. One enemy remaining. Spike. I'm out of here. My ult's ready. One enemy remaining. Too slow. 10 seconds. One enemy remaining. Spike down. A. One enemy remaining. I got the spike. You were beautiful. Last player standing. You should run. One enemy remaining.
3 gone.
One enemy remaining.
Deploying drone. Revealing area. My ult is ready.
Spike planted. Last player standing. I'm out of here. remaining.
Wait for me.
Last player standing. Clutch. B.
Precise.
One enemy remaining.
Ready.
Defenders win.
Predicted this.
A new era of gaming is here. Challenge other competitors or friends in your favorite games. Join weekly pickup tournaments and open ladders for FPS and real-time strategy games. Or create a league for you and your friends with
All right, and we should be back. Hello and welcome. The Frosto Creator Cup 4. Once again, it is your number one caster, Vok, Ashervok, here with an empty camera here.
I'm
It is Nerd's
sorry.
Corner, except technical issues.
I think
It's totally
that game was so intense that my computer broke.
Camera.
That my camera was just like, no, we can't work right now. And all of
We can't
yesterday
do it
was
no more.
fine. Today it's just like, no, we can't. We're not letting you work. I don't know what happened, but what I do know what happened in the game though, because that was insanity. The overtime clutch, and now on Sunset, it's gonna be the map pick of OneCell. They've warmed up. They won Sunset previously. We might be in for a quick 2-0, or we might get another even juicier storyline where Grizzly wins out. I kind of want Grizzly to win this just so we could go the distance.
If anything, I imagine if you're on the side of Team Low Grizzly, right? Of course, it's going to be more of an uphill battle than you initially thought. But for OneCell, obviously, they're going to want to end this as quickly as possible. And now that they're like fired up, they're fueled up, especially from the last game, it might be that type of situation where we could possibly see a railroad scenario, if you will, considering this is their map pick too.
I mean, yeah, it is. It's very likely. That's my thought process. Is like, it's. Oh my god, man! I don't know. My brain is still losing its like composure because not only was it so intense from the previous one, but also now going into this, there's a lot of stakes on the line because they had, not only did they have such a dominant start, but losing 7 in a row and then losing in overtime is just even more intense. And now we're gonna be seeing them picks. Who's gonna be playing what? Temet on Neon, Leah on Gecko, as expected. Slambito picking up the I'm assuming the Clove, and then we have Sad Boy on the Cat and KJ on top of that, Watson on Raze most definitely, and then the rest of the roster for Grizzly filling in some pretty similar roles as we can see. Another Neon mirror, another Gecko mirror on top of that.
Not only that, one thing I would like to point out here that everything's, similar, fine, and dandy, except for, well, 2 exceptions here. On the side of Team Low Grizzly, we do have the Cypher, and on OneCell, you have the Killjoy. Significantly different in regards to util and abilities. The one thing about Cypher, though, especially going into Sunset, that is a little scary for me, is the amount of information you can pick up on corners, right? Especially with, like, the neural upload, and then after the fact, all of a sudden, you just find yourself exposed at every turn, point, and corner, and if anything, plenty of trap wire and cyber cage setups that you run into. Really, it's going to be unavoidable.
As many as you'd hope. I would hope to see, personally, like, the spider web of Cypher set up. Temet can avoid it as much as possible. Slambino's actually going to be the one to get the first, not Temet.
Man, Slambino just absolutely treading through here already with Reaper finding one, but D getting the trade into Slambino before Merc capping it out with D going down and out. Spike already planted, but this is just so fast for Team Low Grizzly to go down. And at the beginning of the round we got in our last game, our last map, it was Team Low Grizzly that started off with almost 3, maybe 2 flawless rounds in a row, but now it seems that tables have kind of turned in the OneCell's advantage.
It's honestly no surprise that they can just go in and dominate. And that's the thing that I was really scared about, is that if Grizzly can't win out in that final moment, they're going up against a team that is very solid on this. Like, they are very comfortable on this map.
Man, and looking clean and concise at that with Temet rifle in hand, but now moving over into B main. It is going to be majority of OneCell moving along with them. And right in the corner, getting a good setup. You have the trap wire to watch out for, just sitting right there menacingly, if you will. And, of course, it's going to be a little bit of an earthquake to worry about as well. Is Cyber Cage up also? Temet, however, finds Grizzly no tilt, and it is D able to take out Temet just right in the moment there with little man Wingman planning as best as possible. He's doing his best as darn this, and Merc finding 2, finds a third with Kind Sadboy coming in off the assist against 300 God Mommy.
Last
Wasting some capacity here. D grabs another. It's a potential victory here. They're getting such low player counts here. Leah doesn't have the time, I don't think, to play around this. I mean, sorry, it's D does not have the time to play around this just because Leah is being a thorn in their side. And OneCell picking up the second round.
It's already 2-0, of course. A little too early to call it here, but your Team Low Grizzly, a little bit of a far cry from how we saw them start off. And I don't want to say that last game might have iced them a little too much, but hey, there's plenty of time to at least get the ice out of your joints, maybe just break out of it a little bit here. Is now OneCell. Let's go in for a full buy here with a couple of rifles in hand, mostly pistols, but I imagine should make for some good long range work, and the Dizzy lineup could be nasty here.
Oh, these lineups are so good. I love I personally am a big fan of Dizzy and Gecko on this map. Temet's just doing Temet things alongside Leah. They're working together. Fairly certain that these two players, if you just set them up together, they consistently win. And I think that's why Leah stretching to that Gecko really allows for the OneCell roster to truly dominate on a map like this, especially.
Man, and here I was thinking that the Cypher on the side of Team Low Grizzly would actually be more of a threat here, and some wires have been set off, but I think for OneCell, knowing that they have the Cypher in hand, kind of forced them to be a little more careful in their playmaking decisions, and so far, it has done them a lot of good, especially in a lot of these rotates is over in B main. Vandal in hand, Temet at least going for a little bit of a sneaky peek lineup here. D on the other side of that. You can tell trying to watch out for the spy cams, and that is another trap wire taken out.
Traps, it might be triggered, but at this point, these guys need to play around them. It's 30 seconds on the board. Leah has the bomb down towards mid. The pressure is still on for these guys. Leerzin has a very close range weapon in a close range corner. I don't know if they're going to immediately push into this, but no. Yeah, Temet slides around it. Leerzin gets out of dodge, though, just in the nick of time. They manage to win it out and pick up Leah on top of that. It's Slam Bino to see if they can salvage something here. It is an eco round for them, so I don't expect a dominant victory, but at least taking some rifles out of these guys' hands, right? Leerzin without a rifle, already really huge.
Man, and no rifle in hand anymore. Have to kind of save up toward that. It hasn't exactly been picked up, but if you are on the side of Team Low Grizzly now, 1 round win there to put you at 2, and one with the neon just skating through, and Leerzin was able to snuff them out, catch him just in time before Leon went down, and it was Slambino to find the pick off the sniper and trying to slide in here, but at 100 health, it was just one headshot that did them in from Leerzin. A little penguin on the skateboard here. Adorable.
Of course. Temet now back onto the site, taking the fight onto Ruby. They pressure them out. It's going to be a lose-lose scenario, but loses a decent chunk of HP. Look at Leerzin seeing what they can lock in. They slide, but look, is in the corner. Temet takes the fight. It works for them. Grizzly hiding around. It's going to go down. Unfortunately, it's D. Last player standing. The spike goes down. They see what they can do.
And OneCell getting it with that John Cena style ruthless aggression. And the same can be said for Big Slambino here, with D really going down hard. And over in defender side, Spawn, not exactly the one place where you want to get caught, but I don't even think he had little choice trying to run away, rotate over. And in the midst of that, it was almost done in from that second. Now Team Low Grizzly find themselves at 3-1. A little too early, but the last thing you want to do is allow OneCell to really ramp things up.
Yeah, by all means, they start taking a decent amount of momentum, and it might end up looking like the second half of the previous game. Although OneCell, they did manage to come back. I don't know. Grizzly, they might have to do the same stuff. Temet immediately popping their ultimate, gets a finger onto one of these players and zaps them through. Now, they gotta go and find you. A team flash comes through. They're bouncing around. I think they spotted Grizzly out, but unfortunately, a lot of util being dumped onto Temet to dissuade them from pushing in. It's not gonna work. Watson's in the corner. Actually, no, it's Godmommy who's in the corner. Gets the 3-piece, hunts for some more. 2 players, no, 1 left alive, and it's just gonna be D.
I'm still crying over the fact that Temet absolutely getting in with a 360 zap no scope off at last second. And of course, Merc finishing the job with wallbang kill here, spike in possession for Temet. But now OneCell sitting at 4-1 already. I mean, we've seen this last game where we've seen a team get the momentum. They kind of get iced out in the last few rounds, and then all of a sudden the other builds back up. But for Temet. The neon action was on full display in this round ahead. I mean, smokes be damned, we got to see that little spin flip that did happen just seconds ago. Even with the dizzy hit, didn't even pay attention to any of it.
Round's gonna get started. They have the ultimates. We do see an overdrive active. Grizzly picking up the first on Tem. It's gonna be huge. Slides in, finds Merc. The numbers falling in Grizzly's favor as they try to sway the momentum. Laser zaps in, beams on top of that. Leah gets the trade, but it's too late. Lazen. Oh no, Learson. Well, words. Learson lasers in. Oh my god, I was trying to say that and my brain just flip-flopped the two.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is that your brain got zapped, if you will. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Exactly.
I'm so sorry.
That is exactly what happened.
We just go through our replay here, and where there was one neon to hit the last round with the zap with the laser, there was another. This time it was Learson. I'm honestly surprised they didn't get taken down a little earlier here. Secured their 4th kill of the round.
Yes. Yeah, that is probably the biggest kind of oomph, right? The biggest, I wouldn't say nerf, but definitely like feels rough, man. You know?
It's bad, man.
It feels bad.
Oh.
But not that bad. Temet immediately pushing through. God Mommy going down off the rip. Is gonna give him a weapon. Gets out of dodge. Does not want to take these fights. Learson trying to lock in another pick, but it's not gonna be for naught.
Leah finds that last one, but now Learson choose to rotate over into B side, but Temet and Leah are there to pick them off and through the barricade. Team Low Grizzly now find themselves a massive disadvantage, but Ruby is there. We have seen these impossible comebacks before where it's just a 1v4 could be turned into a 1v1 very quickly. The Disney lineup is there, doesn't exactly hit, but snaps right through Temet. I don't know what movement was going on there, but it was almost as if every bullet was dodged, avoided, and one cell now 5-2 stat line.
They got themselves, I mean, a more dominant scoreline here for one cell. The comfort's definitely high, putting Grizzly on the back burner as much as they can. I mean, I'm just thinking to myself, right? Like, what can they do here? They have two really solid ultimates. Maybe play off of Watson's ultimate here and try and grab Temet. Temet taking this play down towards mid. They left mid a fair bit open. The stun comes through. Temet's gonna find you. Grizzly's there on the board. Learson does bite back though, as they're gonna try and take the fight back to Temet. But look at the Thrash. They're on the site. They clear out the majority of it, and they even get it into a position that it can come back and you can snatch it for yourself to use it a second time in the round.
Wingman doing his best and planning right in the corner that should be recoverable momentarily, but now for Learson. Takes down Temet before Leah getting a revenge pick on the 300 God Mommy. The trade enacted against the Violence of Geckos here before Learson finds a third, finds a 4th kill against here in Slambino. Also down against Ruby for Team Little Grizzly to sneak in here off the defusal just in the nick of time.
Wow. Oh, wow. I mean, it's a little rough, but it works out in the end. They managed to get it. I feel like it's been like 2-1, 2-1, 1-2, like the combinations. Yeah, they have been trading rounds here. We need to see Grizzly go on a tear, and they have been kind of using their ultimates. They've been retaking really well together, and they've been getting Learson more active on this roster. But you know who hasn't been as active? Oh wait, I just realized they don't have what's called their sub anymore. Watson's gone.
Oh,
I didn't know. I don't know why I didn't
what?
realize that. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I was dealing with the camera problem, so I was like, not pay. I guess my brain just I thought Watson was 3000 God Mommy, but no, Learson is back and God Mommy is as well, as they are gonna dominate here. Ruby with the rest of the roster. I think Ruby was the player that they added in, if I'm not mistaken, although I might be wrong. But I just think that overall, one cell, they're going up against a decorated roster, right? Grizzly coming in from the side. Sad Boy goes down. The fight's there, and it has been not a no contest because they did lose a player, but nearly flawless for Grizzly on this round.
And at 4-5 right now, just kind of evening the odds a little bit, and thankfully this early. I mean, obviously you don't want to wait too late and then try to close the gap and all of a sudden find yourself at almost a 90-degree angle uphill battle. So you could look through here. through the archway, getting everything ready on the side of Team Low Grizzly. Learson and D both have their ultimates ready, but when it comes to Cypher, I don't exactly know how significant a neural upload would be going into this round.
I mean, honestly, I think it would be very good for information here. They also do have some other ultimates like the overdrive to play off of if they decide to go for it and rip it through. On the site already, Temet looking to see what fights they can take, but you got to clear your corners. They jiggle up, they find it. Slambino's going to go down, and there's that neural theft that you were discussing actually earlier, Astrovok. I was talking about how impactful it can be, but you said, like, I don't know how it'll be this round. No, we'll see. It doesn't give them too much information, but it does spot them out. Rolling Thunder is going to slow them on the site. They do get poisoned. There's the fight. And immediately the double up. Temet taking down their equal. Last player standing here, but look who's on the defuse. Wingman's there. They need to spam through it to try and break it, but they can't. Not in the nick of time. The shots are there. They get the double. God, Mommy even going for the shotgun. Evens the score, 5-5.
Man, we saw a little bit of everything that last round, and now we are at 5-5. What that? Insane. I miss casting Valorant for the fact that, you know what? The power of prediction, it's always fun. I didn't even think that neural net was going to pop off there, and all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, that upload possibly?
It's very useful with, like I said, it's very useful with Learson's ultimate, and like I called it, Learson went for it, and then immediately after that, they like popped the overdrive. So together they got the information where the players were, and then they sent the overdrive there. So it's super potent.
I mean, hey, if it works, it works. And we love that controlled chaos that is Valorant. But now headed into this one, it is Grizzly No Tilt finds Merc, but Learson finds another here in a kind Sad Boy. And Bucky in hand, that would be some massive up-close damage for anybody that is really just unlucky to get caught in that. Trapwire just sitting there. Grinner Godmommy over at Tiles and finds Temet and getting ready to toss out those pain shells just momentarily. Now the Dizzy lineup coming in from Leah.
Oh, at this point, it's rough. Grizzly managing to pick up the 3-piece, and they found the 6th, the potential 7th here. They really want this, right? Like, you want to try and get as far into it as possible. And the Haunted Hoe, as always. I personally... I just like the skin. I think it's very funny. But these guys need to sink in a little bit deeper, find their roots, because it's 4 in a row picked up by a little Grizzly right now. And even though, right, you know, one cell, they're cool and all, they have 5 rounds up here. They have yet to pick one up in the latter half of this game.
I mean, listen, they have yet to do it now, but I'd say never really say never. Have some time, but at 6 and 5 with the gap closing, maybe not that much amount of time with the 360 spin, the Dizzy lineup earlier, but Learson not able to turn around behind them before Temet was able to take them out. Learson finds another before kind of Sad Boy snuffs out 300 God Mommy, and with the smoke just sitting right there, Merc trying to line up on these shots as best as possible is now Team Low Grizzly and one cell stuck in a stalemate almost at 4 and 3.
I don't know if they're going to pop their ult. Leah has theirs as well, but it's going to be rough. Leah going first for it to see what they can do, but Grizzly runs past through it. Ruby going down to a sneaky play by kind of Sad Boy, and it'll be sad to say, but sad to see it. The shots get whiffed, and D's going to do it and deal it. Now we have the 7-5 on the board, and Grizzly goes up on the game. But this is a place one cell has been before, right? They've been down and they managed to bring themselves back up.
I'd say, if anything, Team Low Grizzly is starting to shake that ice off in a much needed way possible. 7 and 5, and now one cell. Kind of find themselves in that dire situation of last game where maybe even they're losing the momentum, but thankfully it's not at that much of a deficit. And again, we don't want to see another situation where it could just hit 12 and 5, and then all of a sudden they build back up. For Team Low Grizzly, they want this, they want it bad, build back up to it, and if anything, could be easy sailing from there if they're careful enough.
But slow and steady does win the race, and Temet's going at a pretty fast pace, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Learson is just going to make some noise, get some info on the players, and immediately fall back towards his B push, which I think that's a rather smart play.
Of course, Ruby on the side here. B main, another Disney lineup possibly coming out from both sides here, and hits for some amount of flash, but Leah finds out Ruby, and just in the nick of time, Learson, however, Leah gone and out. With the alarm bot triggered, Spike being planted, and D able to pop off with it. Now Team Low Grizzly sitting at 4-4. Actually really on either side here. And Temet able to find the shots, but Big Slam Bino is going to take out No Tilt. 300 God Mommy almost going down there, and Lear's in down just really permanently.
Oh, it almost doesn't count sometimes, right? Kind of sad, boy, seeing what sort of fights they can take up close and personal. There's 300 God Mommy as they try to get 300. Boom. Slambino's going to slam you. They're going to body block it a little bit. They want to get this defuse off the rip, but no, ItzD gets the double. Merc has been caught off. They don't want to stand in front of the smoke. The half's been got. They tap onto it, waiting to see if D is going to peek, but the time's not there. They go for it again.
What?
D gets the duel, and the 8th's been found. They needed to win that, because then if they do, they potentially win the bonus on top of it, and it becomes 7-7. But right now, it's looking rather dire.
An 8-5 clutch round, and like you said, it is looking dire in 4-1. So we've seen them in this scenario before where they're really just down and out of it and make an impossible comeback. But can you do it a second time? I mean, sure, it's not exactly impossible now, but it's still a significant gap, and then having to overtake the 8 to possibly head into a match point scenario. When Team Low Grizzly getting as aggressive as they can be, it's starting to get scary.
Yeah, scary indeed. At least right now we see it might not be up to their speed. Learson goes in, but then they immediately get cooked. The Nano Swarm nipping at your feet as Leah is going to try and play recovery yet again. This might be a victory for them. They can find it. There's the one. They prevent the bomb. No, they don't. The bomb has been planted, but the timing is a little bit rough. It's D's on the site. They pop the Neural Theft, the fastest charging ultimate, and look who's there in the corner with just a classic in hand. It's D. Missed the shots. A Bucky to your face. It's a big disgrace, and Temet is going to immediately pick up the pace. It's rough. It's rambunctious. He needs to win this and locks it in. They managed to sneak it back. I believe they had a rough buy going into it, but OneCell reels it back in and prevents the 9th round from coming through.
A shotgun right to the face, and it looks to be Temet that rocked the majority of Team Low Grizzly inside of OneCell. Absolutely insane. I mean, really have to go back to the replay here. And the shots were coming in initially from the Dizzy trades, and Leah, especially the Spectre, but D finding one on the Guardian. It was Big Slambino down, but Temet with the shotgun shots heard around the world, bouncing everywhere, off the walls, off the floor, to be able to defuse. And now OneCell get themselves around, but it's still not over just yet. 8-6, that is a significant climb.
They have to go for it though. Might not be a vertical 90-degree harness, no harness rock climb free throw, but at least at this point they have something to work with. OneCell just too off, and in the smoke, Grizzly's gonna find Sad Boy lurking around through market.
Of course, with the wingman planned at that one. Once again, he is doing his best, but Grizzly No Tilt sitting here with the stinger in hand, and with 3 to contend with. Temet was able to get in with the wallbang shots. Merc got a clear, concise headshot on the Learson. Now Team Low Grizzly, they're down the 3 all over again, with Merc popping back against 300 God Mommy, and of course Leah off in the corner. B site looking very active here. You had an earthquake to worry about. Temet finds one, finds a third with Ruby, and it's D falling to very precise headshots here.
They get the 7th. The gap's been closing. It was an eco round for Grizzly, so it makes sense. It was a little bit difficult, but at the same time, you gotta give huge, shout outs to OneCell for bringing it back. This is their map pick. They've been playing on the back foot, and it's interesting because we gave them that, like, okay, they're most likely going to be the team that wins this pretty dominantly, yet they've been on the back foot the majority of the game, but they've been winning. And it might be a 2-0, but it might be a slugfest before it gets rather than a dominant victory, it might be like that slow burn into something crazy.
Man, and hoping that OneCell doesn't fly too close to the sun here to allow themselves to get burnt. Removes a spy cam dart, and now Temet finds the headshot clean on the 300 God Mommy. Merc just getting splat to the face with Dizzy, still able to recover and find Learson, though, in a lucky amount of time. But maybe not for that moment before Ruby claps back. Temet and Leah, however, able to carry OneCell just for a few brief moments. Nerds, it's tied at 8-8 here.
And I expected this, right? I think OneCell, they know how to play this map. They're comfortable on it. You have a Gecko player and a Neon player. And don't get me wrong, they're versatile on a lot of maps, but Sunset's one of those maps that they like built kind of for Gecko. I feel like they came out right around time. They're like, yeah, we got, you know, Gecko's from LA. Let's make a map in LA and immediately tie it all together in the storyline. The thing I'm seeing here is that's 3 in a row. This reminds me a little bit of last time. If you remember what happened?
I think I do, and also I'd say it's a little bit to the LA bit of this being Sunset. It's too clean. As someone who actually lives in Los Angeles, California, I haven't seen any mess on the street. An accurate depiction. It is the future, though. I really shouldn't be able to dog in it that much, but no till. Catch out on the Merc, and now once they'll kind of find themselves down by 2 players. I wouldn't exactly say disadvantaged. They come back from situations such as this one with Big Slambino. Able to get in with the wall bang. Ruby planting, however, and now to 3v3. Thrash is going in, possibly for a couple of kills here. Maybe not with Slambino, and kind of Sad Boy doesn't even matter to them. That Gecko ult did some of the work for them, and Leah now with the defuse, the spray here to allow kind of Sad Boy to get in here at the action.
They take the lead. And this is going to be a time where Grizzly most likely would want to pause, take a time out, rethink a little bit, have this sort of group discussion. What are we going to be doing? How are we going to be changing things up? We haven't seen them go for a timeout just yet, so I wouldn't be surprised if they don't go for it. Not that sweaty, but I kind of want them to. It's like, all right, go for it. Just do it, right? Talk about it. Get the 9th round. Make it 9-9. You just lost 4 in a row. They keep retaking onto your site. How are you going to prevent that? Maybe a slow default into a first pick, and then immediately after that, you kind of, you know, blitz onto a site, right? That I feel like that's not that bad of a strategy, especially as a mid-round call.
Another strategy coming up here just momentarily with Learson getting in with the Zappa again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Or in this case, might just find yourself getting a little electrocuted and too close for comfort here. Hand in hand, and Temet trying to get in with these shots, finds one, and no tilt trade enacted onto Temet. Popping through the door, it is kind of Sad Boy, not able to avoid the electrifying action. That is Learson, Ruby, and no tilt. Now getting in with a Thrifty coming in from Lil Grizzly.
The Rift, I mean, hey, they won it out. Was a bit of a rough game for them so far, so the fact that they got it 9-9 after 4 rounds in a row is going to give their spirits a boost.
And the much needed one, add that one to get everything settled in and figured out that it looks like an expensive knife. That's almost it. That's a whole scythe.
Looks like it is. It's the haunted hoe.
Wait, it can't. How much is it?
I think it's $50.
Y'all are out here paying $50 for knives in Valorant. Is it? You know what? I'm not gonna question. I've spent some money in this game. That's totally okay. But I imagine not wanting to spend everything. It is gonna be Leah as Learson. Maybe overextends just a little too far here. No tilt coming in through the back. Finds Leah, but actually stays alive for a little longer to be able to get the revive onto themselves. Can't die exactly just yet here. As Big Slambino set themselves up in the corner to try and overtake, and where kind of Sad Boy goes down. A little bit of a sacrifice. At least one cell are able to nab one more. And this could be a nasty lineup if Merc is able to play it right, shoots through the door, and honestly might have been better to use util here instead to maybe get the upper hand onto Ruby, who instead gets Merc. Big Slam. Bino, however, no way. There's no way.
Hasn't spotted them. He's there. Oh, but they get caught between a rock and a hard blast. I mean, they didn't see the player. They didn't clear him out, so that's 2 picked up by Grizzly, and the momentum has shifted back into their favor. Just way better sight holds and coordination, especially getting those early shots in on the enemy roster. Just, again, right, winning by kills has been one of their things. They plant that bomb, more specifically to kind of apply the pressure, but just really focusing on that fragging potential that they've had. Grizzly, I feel like pound for pound, their frags have been really good, whereas for one cell, they've been impactful and really coordinated together. It's kind of the vibes you're getting out of these teams.
And good vibes at that one, but now the vibe's starting to get a little sweaty here as the walls have been put up from Learson, but now on the side of one cell. A little too fast with it. Well, Grizzly, however, it is D being the absolute Cypher menace that they have in these past couple of rounds, with honestly a really good couple of neural thefts to add. Now sitting at corner, it is over in A side where the action just might pop off momentarily here. Shots coming in right in the shoulder. A Big Slambino slides in, finds another before Slambino is able to revive themselves. Temet clearing Learson. Now having to find a kill to try and survive here if Slambino isn't fast enough. Obviously, they'd be permanently lost, and just right there, almost there for a second. Right.
Oh no.
Player standing.
Was able to try and clean up as best as possible before 300 God
One enemy remaining.
to it, but kind of sad boy still has a chance here at 85 health. I mean, sure, it's not exactly that low, but one well-placed headshot could be enough. Trapwire active and trying to get in with the defuse, but that spy cam dart coming in, if they're not careful enough, you have one enemy cipher right there, question mark? Clutches it up, and D didn't get there in time.
No, not enough time for it. Really good. You know, that's the thing, right? You got to play to the objective as much as possible. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Man, genuinely, it's really just such a risk, a 50-50 gamble, if you will. Now we're at 10-10. It's tied. It could go either way. And I will say, on one side of one cell going in for a full buy while Grizzly maybe saving here just a little bit. I'm scared of how this could go, nerds.
And
I really am.
Temet has their ultimate. They're going to be playing off
Oh
this
my God.
trap play they set up together, but immediately stunned out of position. Temet cannot go for the peek into it. Gets the first onto Learson. They're going to spam through. They need to recharge that finger before they point it at you. Grizzly's going to go down. They have another with an aftershock down in the corner. Catches one off guard.
No way.
Temet's
No
on fire. It's a
way.
flawless victory here for one cell, as it has just been a lot closer of a game now. Sure, they did bring it back before, but we might be seeing back-to-back overtimes, honestly.
Temet was at almost one, maybe negative HP the entire time. Got not one, not two, but almost 3 to 4 separate kills coming in off the charge zap. Almost shouldn't have been possible there for a flawless trap play setup. This is starting to get a little dangerous.
Bot coming back.
Dubious. You said dangerous. My brain's like, you know, dubious at best. Flash comes through. Learson's gonna pop on through onto the site. It's not gonna be that much of a fight though. Merc and Grizzly taking the fight together again. We do see the Thrash come out, but it's not gonna be for a lot. One cell lock it in. There was some potential there. I see Grizzly, they were going for a burst play, but again, the burst plays weren't the strong suit. They had the slow burn. I feel like that they shouldn't, I mean, they had a little bit of an unlucky time there at one point, but the slow plays, you know, they weren't that bad, I don't think.
I'm out of here.
Wasn't too bad, but honestly, one cell looking almost a little too fresh here. Team Little Grizzly going in for really staggering firepower here. Just maybe trying to switch between the pistol and the shotgun. But if you're on the side of what that last trap setup in the last round, looked clean with it, but now sitting at 12-10. Possible match point here as Learson going up with the walls again, able to avoid the fault lines only for a second. I cannot say the same for No Tilt as Merc snuffs them out, and now Team Little Grizzly already this early into the round down by 1.
Immediately. My alarm bells are ringing here. They have 2 good ultimates to retake and lock down space here. The slow play coming out here, but look at the pacing. Temet's got the 2-for-1 trade, and it's gonna be gone. It's up to debate here, but Learson's in it. They have the overdrive active, a possibility for them to potentially win things through here. The pack hunt coming out for one cell. They're trying to stick together as one organism as Leah goes in with it. Defender lockdown comes through. I was talking about it. They're gonna sniff you out, snuff you, and find you. God, mommy, with the rocket, lands right at your feet.
Showstopper hitting for full force. We got the Thrash action just absolutely coming at you with everything they had, but Learson finds 3rd kill of the round. Leah being the very unfortunate recipient of a couple bullets to the face. Slambino could clutch us up, being at old silver, but it's getting scary. Knife was out just for a second.
Classic!
There's no way! Gets in with the classic clutch kill for one cell to take it 13-10.
What a play. Such an insane play. My camera is still off. That, okay, I just got, you might not be seeing my face right now, but I'm like pog faced the moment I saw it. I was like, Slambino has been one of, if not the craziest, but at least one of the most impactful players for this roster, for this team. And I just have to say that it just I expected, you know, one cell to win this, but that storyline was throwing me for a loop.
Genuinely, and in the next like 1 to 2 years, if I don't see the name Slambino mentioned in any way, shape, or form, either at like VCT or anywhere else, I'm gonna be fairly disappointed because that is some absolutely insane play. And then to find out, oh yeah, they're only like silver, low elo. Someone has to be lying. I don't care what it. Someone has to be lying to be able to. I don't know if that was an accidental swap over to knife. Maybe they wanted to go in for the quick melee kill, but then to get the last couple shots off of a classic and almost save the whole thing. That could have been an easy round win going in for Team Lil Grizzly. And one cell clutches it.
They clutch it out. I mean, honestly, I'm like, I wouldn't say I'm shocked, but like, yeah, I'm a little shocked. Like that was an unexpected victory. I'm impressed. I would say impressed. I was impressed from yesterday because I've seen Slambino for this entire tournament just dominating so far. So I am not at all surprised that they have anything to like hide here. I do think that they need to play a bit more ranked because there's no way you're playing like this and that you're, you know, down in the lower elo. I think when we get them on the mic, we'll ask to like confirm and double check what rank they're in, because I remember hearing something about them being silver, so I call them the Silver Sultan for a reason. But they've definitely not gotten silver here. They've hit the gold. They got themselves really good stuff here. They won out the whole tournament.
Yeah, and absolutely insane. But I believe before we head over to our interviews, I feel we should have actually at least one more ad read here. Nerds, you want me to take this away before we head to break since your camera's not working?
I don't know what's wrong. After this break, I'm gonna figure out what's up with my camera. I dropped it earlier today, so maybe rest in peace, camera. Rest in peace.
Goodbye. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. That's totally fine. But of course, getting over to our ad read, thank you to our sponsor, Online Battleground, the tournament platform that allows you to challenge your friends and other competitors in weekly tournaments or ladders. Of course, favorite FPS can compete in your favorite FPS games weekly. So if you like yourself a little bit of competition and want to maybe play against your friends, but also do it maybe for a little bit of an incentive in tournaments and brackets, please check them out or be the first to join at QorGaming.com/joinOBG. That is Qor, not spelled COREQOR.
Yippee.
Sorry, I had to crack my fingers. I was like,
that was a really long ad read. But that's all for me. I mean, I can't end it out here. I'm cameraless. All
right, I got
so
you.
Naked.
We will be headed to a quick break. We'll be right back with some player interviews.
Last player standing. Spike down A. 10 seconds left. One enemy remaining. We're good. There we go. Spike down A. Out of charges. Our spike's down. Spike down A. One enemy remaining. Bomb buddy out. One enemy remaining. Let it go. You have it.
Dizzy's up top. Nobody's there.
Spike down B.
Gotcha.
Spike planted. Player standing. One enemy remaining. I'm out of here. You're good. One enemy remaining. Flawless. One enemy remaining.
do my job here.
Clutch. Defenders
Not
win.
today, not tomorrow.
A new era of gaming is here. Challenge other competitors or friends in your favorite games. Join weekly pickup tournaments and open ladders for FPS and real-time strategy games. Or create a league for you and your friends with a generated season schedule and playoff bracket. All on one platform. Be the first to compete on online battleground. A new era of gaming is here. Challenge other competitors or friends in your favorite games. Join weekly pickup tournaments and open ladders for FPS and real-time strategy games. Or create a league for you and your friends with a generated season schedule and playoff bracket. All on one platform. Be the first to compete on online battleground. A new era of gaming is here. Challenge other competitors or friends in your favorite games. Join weekly pickup tournaments and open ladders for FPS and real-time strategy games. Or create a league for you and your friends with a generated season schedule and playoff bracket. All on one platform. Be the first to compete on online.
Hello and welcome back to Frausto's Creator Cup number 4. Once again, it is your number one caster Vok, Ashervok, with my co-commentator Nerds Corner. We got a little image for them this time around. That's totally cool. Honestly, looking really good with it. But of course, after our insane game between Team Low Grizzly and Team One Cell, now we have a player interview. It's Temet this time.
Hello. Wait, do I have to talk in Discord? Oh, what's up?
Oh yeah.
I'm Timmy.
Okay, there we go.
my bad.
I was like, wait, Temet muted? Question
Yeah.
mark?
Okay. Well, first my camera breaks, then Temit's mics break. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Yeah, we should.
Oh no,
redo
my
it.
camera almost broke too for like 2.2 seconds. I got scared. I was like, nerds, what did you do to sneak
You know,
in my house
actually,
and do
that'll
this?
be the first question then, because there was a tech pause that came through, and Leah needed
Oh,
to
yeah.
restart their computer. So we've had a rifling of, a peppering, a sprinkling, whatever you want to call it, of tech issues throughout the day. And how did that impact your guys' gameplay? Because it was on ascent when you guys were losing.
Yeah, it was honestly, it kind of felt like everything was going wrong, right? Like she said, like her PC like froze and like her monitor was frozen, and like we had to just completely reset. Honestly, the tech pause kind of helped a little bit because we kind of like we kind of had like a mental reset at the same time, but it definitely kind of made us even more desynced because like usually we were really synced on all the days, right? Like we were kind of locked in. We threw our util, but on that ascent game, like we also played a different comp, right? So like it was just all over the place, and we were just pretty lost. So
Fair enough.
Of course, Of course, I gotta ask, Temit, what influenced the neon pick going into sunset? That was like, I know one sells map and obviously pick, but I asked, why that specific agent
Oh,
choice?
well. no.
Yeah, so if you look at the background, I have a neon mannequin, so I gotta do it for
Oh.
her. So
I didn't even notice that. I got a little concerned for like 3 seconds. I was like,
Yeah,
wait, is that
yeah, no,
someone standing?
it's just like a joke. Yeah, I just like have a mannequin back there. But yeah, I play neon on every map. Like that's like kind of like my thing. So it's like there's not much
Neon
thought put
launcher?
into it. Yeah, I just only play neon, so that's kind of like the main reason. People also like in VCT, a lot of teams do run neon now as well, especially with the buffs, right? So sunset is a very viable map for neon as well. So.
Of course, I gotta ask, when it comes to the team composition at that one as well. Oh, where did y'all find Slambino? I'm so interested to ask about that.
Yeah, so originally like Leah, like obviously she made the team, she invited me, and I had my friend Merkt, and we ended up picking up Merkt, and that's actually his IRL friend. So he was like basically worked
Oh.
out pretty well. So like someone that he knew, we had some more chemistry going there, and that's how we found him.
Oh, okay. Comfortability on those roles and all together. I mean, we talked a little to Slambino, the Silver Sultan. I want they're silver, right?
Yeah, he's so he honestly doesn't play too much Val, but I think he is silver. Yeah, he's like peak silver.
That's crazy. Did you guys do any like coaching sessions or like work together at all, or was it just like straight up slap together, we good to go?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, we didn't put any like we only showed up whenever we had to show up for like the games, obviously. So yeah, we didn't really put any other effort. We kind of just like I kind of came up with like defaults and like things we would do like kind of as we played.
Wow.
So yeah, that's kind of how it worked out. Slambino, I know he has played like other games, like FPS games, right? So he does have like I would say he probably has better aim than like an average silver player. But he's like not well versed on like Valorant that much. If that makes sense.
Is that why you guys? That's why he stuck to the same agent. Just learned one agent. They learned
Yeah,
Clove.
just went with
That's
the
it?
comfort. Yeah, the comfort pick. Yeah, so he didn't have to worry about like learning a new agent or like learning how to do a Silva dart or a Silva lineup or anything like that. So they kept it
Fair
simple.
enough.
Yeah.
Understandable, and once again, congratulations, to your team winning and everything. I know Nerds and I had an absolute blast being able to commentate this. It was an absolute barn burner, if you will. But Tammin, I gotta ask, what are you planning to do after this? Like, you gonna go for a nap? You probably need to go outside? Like, what's on the agenda?
I was probably just gonna play some ranked and then probably get off.
That's
one
awesome.
thing I wanted to
Ask, they're not gonna grab some
What?
food.
I mean, yeah, I'll probably eat.
Water?
I'll probably eat soon. I'll probably wait like an hour or two and then I'll eat. But
And,
What?
after that,
I mean, yeah, I'm still streaming. I gotta keep streaming, bro.
Oh,
wow,
fair enough.
okay.
Fair enough.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
Content
Sorry.
creating
That's
tournament. and
still
all.
some dedication.
yeah.
Still real.
But yeah, I mean, hats off to you guys. Huge congrats, and thank you for coming on the mic again. It's been a pleasure yapping with you on and off screen, homie.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, also like the comeback we had on map 1 was just insane to be
Oh,
honest. So.
Honestly,
That was crazy. I think I heard the casters were saying that like it was gonna be a wrap, like we were gonna lose, but we came all the way back.
No,
and won.
that's the thing. That's the thing. I was like, statistically, there's very small chance, and I think me and Asher were just like, it is really unlikely for them to win this, and the chances only become likely when you hit 12-12 because it's every round, right? And even in ranked, like you got to take it every round by round. So we were commentating kind of like round by round, like just to set the storyline of like they're doing this, they're winning this, they have the momentum. But again, you got to keep the context of one wrong move and you're done for. One wrong move, and we're going to map number 2 with them on a deficit. So realistically, you guys did amazing under that immense level of pressure. Since we have a little bit of time, I'm gonna throw one more out there. How'd you guys feel in that overtime scenario where you won the first one and then immediately lost?
Yeah, so we definitely we had so much momentum, right? Because like we were down like what 12-5, and also like a throwback to like C9 versus NRG, they were also down 12-5. So it's like no one on our team like mentioned it, but like as we kept winning more and more rounds, like like we were down 12-5, and then it was like 12-7, and we just kind of kept building that momentum, right? And then it was definitely a reset after we made it to overtime. Originally, I called a timeout, right? It was supposed to be for like after we won the first round of overtime, but it queued up, so we didn't get it until we lost. So it was definitely a good reset after we lost like the second overtime round. So we basically just talked it over, and I kind of knew like kind of the strat they had, and I just kind of talked over with the team, and then our silvers went crazy. Like I'm not gonna lie, today was their biggest day, right? Like during the group stages, they did pop off a little bit, but during today in the grand final, the silvers went absolutely wild. Like we had Sad Boy with a 2v1
yeah.
against both the people that were peak Radiant, which was crazy. I think actually one of them was Immortal too, because that was the sub. So yeah, the Silvers clutched up. Like I think they clutched like 4 rounds. So that was pretty crazy.
Hats off to them.
And once again, we'd like to thank Temet for coming in onto our interview. Nerds, any more questions before we honestly wrap this up here?
No, just huge congrats to you guys. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, have a wonderful rest of your day to everyone in the audience.
Yeah, thanks. Also, shout out to the casters. Thank you guys for coming in, and also like the observers and all the viewers and Frosto and like all the staff that helped make this possible. It's been a great weekend. I've had so much fun. But yeah, thank you guys.
Much love, much love.
Is going to haunt me for a little while. Like I saw it there, and then I was like trying not to like image it in my head. I was like, oh, it's probably just like a stand, and no, it's just staring me right in my soul. Let's say once again, thank you to Temet for being here for interview, and congratulations to Team One Cell able to really just pop off and being able to get the clutch of all time. The last second. Man, oh man, looking back at our bracket, it was absolutely insane from one game to another.
I low-key thought I wanted Team Nut to go further because the jokes there could be insane, but we did get to see Grizzly battle and grind their way through to the top. Loved Ones and One Cell were playing out earlier, and obviously, you know, a lot of good chaos that came from it, but interestingly enough, almost the entire bracket is 0-2 except for Grizzly and Aori lovers. So all in all, a very solid, very quick, but also intense game between all of these teams. I think with that, I mean, that's us wrapping up Creator Cup number 4.
Man, the good Creator Cup at that one. Once again, shout out to production for putting on such a wild thing, especially Frausto, who, with everything under their plate, right, has been absolutely insane putting this together. And my goodness, I'm just glad they put us back together because, nerds, it's been ages since we last commented. It really has. Habibi, come to fighting games.
No, maybe one day. Honestly, I was thinking about it, but I have a hard time. I just got to give shout outs to everyone else. Chippy, the production, you know, obviously all the people who hopped on the interview, Rare Adam on the replays. We got some amazing, but also absolutely violations on that replay button. A huge shout out to Reachstat and Omi for the observing. Omi, I love you, homie, but sometimes you showed some real interesting stuff there, I'm gonna say. Because Omi was the cinematic observer. They were the one moving around and getting all those weird shots. So I was
gonna say, we saw nose, we saw booty, we saw Sova bolt. Like, I don't know what that bolt shot was. It was absolutely insane. But the fact that my mom was sitting right behind me and she gave me a look, she whispered, "Hey, what's that going on in your screen?" And I had to like breeze right past that. Horrifying.
Oh no. You gotta give shout outs to Frosto and Heejin for the graphics, Frosto for bringing this all together. Huge shout out to all of them. And you know, Team Leah wins it out. One Cell, the organism, has sprung to life and flourished into something new.
Okay, I see what you did there. Bars, absolute bars, if you will. But I believe as before we head out here, nerds, they're not going to put us back together, are they? We've caused too much chaos to be put back.
No, we're the content.
Sag.
We're the content. We bring all the jokes, all the memes, right? All the shenanigans. But yeah, we'll be hopefully coming back for the next Creator Cup. There's going to be a lot more action happening, and stay tuned. You know, follow Frosto on Twitter and here on Twitch to stay tuned for all the Creator Cup action.
Yeah,
New era of gaming is here. Challenge other competitors or friends in your favorite games. Join weekly pickup tournaments and open ladders for FPS and real-time strategy games. Or create a league for you and your friends with a generated season schedule and playoff bracket, all on one platform. Be the first to compete on online battleground. Challenge other competitors or friends in your favorite games. Join weekly pickup tournaments and open ladders for FPS and real-time strategy games. Or create a league for you and your friends with a generated season schedule and playoff bracket, all on one platform. Be the first to compete on online battlegrounds.